Well, hello everyone. Good evening. Welcome, subscribers, visitors, and Cravenites. Welcome to Craven Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. And tonight is a very special night. It's something that really only do once a year. And I'm very excited to do our very first year in review, if you will, here on the channel. And we're going to be discussing our top five most favorite horror movies of the year and our top five least favorite horror movies of the year. So we're going to look at both sides of the coin tonight. But in all of it, I'll say this up front before we even get into it. Remember this: all these movies we're going to talk about, these are just our personal opinions and preferences. And by no means are these the authority or the final word, because you may have some that are in absolute opposition to our views tonight. And that's beautiful. And that's awesome. And we celebrate that diversity because the bottom line is we're celebrating horror. And even those that we don't like as much, our least favorite movies, the fact that we even have horror movies to talk about is a win. And we want to continue to do that. And some of you are going to love, some of you are going to love those that we don't. And some of those that we love, some of you will be like, man, that was rough. And that's all right. That's okay. And that's what so makes this so much fun. And so, yeah, it's going to be great. We celebrate different views and opinions here. It's a safe place, and as long as we're respectful, as long as we're respectful to one another, and we're we're kind and we do things in the right spirit, it's totally cool. All right, so we'll get that up front. Not going to say that on every time. That's just kind of a blanket thing I want to put out there as we get started. Now, uh, before we do get started, just want to give a quick shout out to my moderators tonight who are going to be here moderating the chat. I know Val, the general, is here. Thank you, Val. Much appreciated. Laying it down, keeping the reminders going. There you go. And also for any of my other mods who may pop in, Carrie or Sarah or Denisha or Jen, we appreciate you. Thank you for helping out tonight, as always. And also, before we get started, because once we get started, man, we're going to be going. I want to say a couple of things. Number one, be sure as we're going through our rankings, we're going to go through like our top five, and we're going to do a round table with the guests. As we're doing those, feel free to put yours in the chat and we'll get to as many as possible. And of course, if you do want to make sure that we get a chance to take a look at your ratings, talk about them, or if you have a question or comment, remember you can always submit a super chat. I always pledge to you it goes to the front of the line and it will go ahead of everyone else. We'll take care of you and we will not end the stream until every super chat is addressed. So don't worry. If you submit a super chat and you're like, man, it's been like 10 minutes, what's going on? Don't worry, we're going to get to every single one, I promise. But we'll get to as many as we can in general. But on a night like tonight, there's no way we'll get to all of one and everyone. You know that, guys. And a real quick blanket hello to all in the chat. Thank you guys for being here. Won't call everyone out by name because that will take too much time into our limited time. But I just want you to know I see you all here and I appreciate you all being here. You guys are amazing and you make this, merry-go-round go around. So thanks for being here. It's going to be a fun night. And last but not least, before I introduce my guest tonight, I want to acknowledge all of my channel members and patrons. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for helping to keep the lights on, if you will, for the channel. In addition to all of your watching and commenting and liking the streams and videos, your monthly support really does make a difference. And I want you guys to know how much I appreciate each one of you. And for just a moment, I want to put the spotlight on you guys as my way of saying thank you and making sure you get the recognition that you deserve as being a Cravenite. All right, very good. Thank you so much, everyone. And let's get our guest on here right now because we have a lineup tonight. I'm so excited that everyone on the panel was able to make it tonight. This is going to be so much fun. So, let me just introduce them right now. They're no strangers here to the channel and to the community at large. So, please welcome first up our guest tonight on the panel. He brings a hammer with him everywhere he goes. Please welcome my friend Ken from Sledgehammer Horror. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, man, good. Thanks you're here. Thanks for being here. Is what I'm trying to say.
No, dude, it's seriously an honor. I've been so excited for it all day.
Oh, same here. Been counting down the day or the hours,
Yeah.
man. So glad we're here. Next up, we have another amazing guest joining us. Who, if you like things that are scary, my channel's craving something scary. Well, to crave it, you gotta like it. So if you like scary things, this is the place to go. Please welcome my buddy Brandon from I Like Scary.
What's
Hey,
up, guys? What's up, man?
all
I'm here.
right.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah, man.
Craving something scary where it's all
Ooh.
horror all the time.
Yeah, it is. And speaking of which, before I introduce no, let me go and introduce my next guest, and I'm going to come back to Gory in just a second. But before I do that, we have two more guests coming. One now, one's coming a little bit later. But first up, or next up rather, someone who you guys know is a major, major supporter of the channel and the community, and is the person who donated my very first. Eric, you're gonna hear this forever. My very first super chat of
I
the
knew who it was
channel.
as soon as you said that.
Oh yeah, it's just it's those moments that stick with you. And my very first super chat of all time, I didn't even know I had super chats. It was took me by surprise. Please, he's like, what is that? Please welcome my good friend and supporter, just amazing guy, and he's a great content creator, by the way, as well, Mr. Eric from the Bearded Entertainment.
What's up, everyone? Great to be here. I've been stressed out about today, not gonna lie. I've been going back through my list because I already put out a top 5 video and I've been rethinking it like, well, maybe should I put that one above that one? So like I'm ready to get this out there so I can like relax.
Well, in your defense, Eric, 2022 was one of the most amazing horror years we've had in a long time. So you can do this list 20 different times and have a different list 20 different times just because of how amazing this year was in the horror world.
It really, really was. Like I had to, when I was making a top 5 list, I'm like, maybe I can put an honorable mention or two. And I ended up with like 10 honorable mentions because I'm like, you got to talk about this movie. So
I know
it was a tremendous year. This is a year we're going to remember for a long time. I think so many creators were so like itching to get back out there and make movies after the pandemic and everything that we just got this like explosion of creativity.
I literally have 12 of each. I didn't know we were doing a top 5. I knew we were doing a list, so I just did 12 of each. And then he was like, 5. I was like, crap.
Poor kid. Like all week long, you're like working all these, sweating it out. And I'm like, oh no, I need 5. And actually, Ken, I'm glad you mentioned that. So everyone watching, what we're doing is we're going to do, and it's difficult. Only 5 of your most favorite, 5 of your least favorite. We're not saying bad or worst, really. I had to do that for the title, but in reality, there's no bad or worst or good. It's all subjective. So it's our least favorite, most favorite, and that's all. And then we're going to do like 2 honorable mentions. So I'm really making it hard on everybody. Only 2 honorable mentions in each category. Only 2. Now we're going to narrow it down.
Make me choose between my children.
How about we do 7? I'll see your 2. And
I'll raise you.
Yeah, man.
Oh, like a poker.
Oh man. So this is going to be, again, I'm so excited, guys. This is going to be so much fun to get started with. So I think what we'll do here is we're going to go ahead and get this puppy cranked up, and we'll go round table style. So what we'll do is we'll start with, we'll probably start with our least favorite, get all those out of the way, and then we'll turn it on to the good stuff, our favorites. And we'll go round table, meaning for example, when I say, we're going to start with number 5. So let's say Eric starts us off. He'll give his 5. Or we'll give her 5, right around each one until we all get our 5s out. And then we can, have last minute thoughts about it or what have you. And we do have another guest, Knight from the Night Watch Zone, will be coming on, but we'll just let him catch up with us. Not a big deal. No big deal there. So it's cool. It's all good. Knight, you're probably listening right now, so don't sweat it, man. It's all good. All right. So let's do this. I'm just so pumped. I can't believe we're actually here. I keep thinking I'm forgetting something, but I just I feel great. So, okay, so let's start with Eric, and we'll go counterclockwise, I guess. And Eric, we're going to start with your number. Well, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to start with honorable mentions. We're going to start with honorable mentions. So, what are your 2 honorable mentions?
2 honorable mentions for like least favorite.
Or least favorite. Yep.
All right. Well, the first one's going to be Mean One, which was the Grinch horror movie that came out.
Okay.
I don't know. I just probably because of I mean, you had the I'm blanking on his name, which really kills me, but the guy who plays Art the Clown, like
David
he was
Howard
touted at David Howard Thornton as the Grinch or the Mean One. They don't actually call him the Grinch in it because they can't. But like I was just expecting so much more, but like you didn't actually get him that much. Some of the effects were less than dodgy. And I just wasn't too big a fan of it.
Okay.
I guess I had just too high expectations. But then
Mhm.
my next honorable mention really hurts me to say, but it's Halloween Ends.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like a hypocrite because I loved Halloween Ends, but it was also a disappointment because it's with it being the last movie with Jamie Lee Curtis and the last movie with James Duke Courtney as Michael, it should have been something different. It just should have. So those are my 2 honorable mentions for least favorite.
Well, those are good. and listen, but I do remember why I had that feeling. I told you I had a feeling like, wait, it's not time to start yet. I know what it is. So Eric, before we comment on yours and move to Gory, ladies and gentlemen, we got a new Cravenite. We have a new channel member. Gory B Movie herself is now an official channel member of the community. Thank you, Gory, so much. That's so awesome.
I'm
And
trying
now,
to sneak in there all sneaky. Like, what I was here?
seriously, I know. I'm like, what? So, all right. So, Gory, guess what? Now I get to give you my official welcome.
Yes. The
And I'm
speech.
so
Ready.
excited. Yes, here we go. All right. And then, by the way, if anyone wants to join Gory B, you can just click the join button right now by subscribing. You can do, and I will give you the greeting that I'm about to
It's
give
like that.
Gory.
Be like Mike, but be like Gory. Be a Craven.
Yes, be like Gory. All right. So, Gory B, welcome to the inner circle of the cult of Craven. You are no longer merely a subscriber, a viewer, a watcher, and a liker. You are now entering into the inner sanctum of the cult of Craven, where you are now part of the inner family. And that Cravenites alike, let's all give Gory a huge virtual hug and say, welcome to the community, my friend. Yes. So glad to have you, Gory. Thank you so much. That's so kind. That's awesome.
Thanks,
So,
guys.
yes. Woohoo. All right. Now I feel like, okay, now it feels right to proceed. I knew there was something. I was like, oh yes, Gory, of course. That's so cool. All right. So Eric, okay, a couple of good mentions there. Makes sense. Anything else you want to add, Eric, before we continue?
Yeah, and I know you covered it in your fantastic intro there, but I just want to say just before it goes to the comments, like I did enjoy these movies. Like even though they're my least favorites, I still enjoyed them. They were missing something I wanted. So if I put a movie like on this list here, that doesn't mean like I hated it or anything like that. I just it didn't exactly, it wasn't what I wanted it or hoped it would be. That's my last saying.
I know, right? It feels weird not giving a disclaimer every time we when we talk about some of these movies, but I get it, man.
Well, I don't want to say like I said, the Mean One, and I know a lot of people haven't seen that. I don't want me saying this to like dissuade them from going to see it. You should see it. Yep. It's just for me, it just wasn't what I hoped it would be.
Sure. Well, and that's the purpose of the stream, right? Is to share our opinions on what we, it's okay. Yeah, everyone that's here, I know that you guys are tuning in to see what we're thinking, but definitely go watch all these movies. All of them, I would encourage you, and make your own judgments up. And I'm sure there'll be some variances. All right, Gory B, what are your honorable mentions, my friend?
I had to think about this because I wasn't prepared. But so largely what I picked for my top 5 were not necessarily the 5 movies I thought were the worst of the year. They're the ones that disappointed me the most. I had expectations and I felt let down. But for my honorable mentions, we're going to go with a couple of the ones that were just so bad. So bad. Now, one was Sharkula, which I gotta say, I was entertained. There was a shark with bat wings. and I did enjoy that. But it's as bad as it sounds, and that's why I didn't make my list, because I knew it was going to be shit. I got shit. No one's complaining here. The transaction was as expected. However, I will say, just putting this out there to any future filmmakers, if you don't have the budget for it, don't make a shark movie. Steven Spielberg struggled to make a good shark movie with the effects. The effects failed on him. So stop using these, bad green screen effects that you're getting off of YouTube, because at this point it's not even funny anymore. It's kind of it's run its course. So Sharkula for sure. The other one, it should have been sillier. It should have been crazier. It's The Killing Tree. Now you hear Killing Tree. Corey, is that a movie about a Christmas tree possessed by a serial killer? Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, it should be amazing. I'll forgive the bad CGI. Someone got killed with tinsel, which makes me happy. But unfortunately, this movie takes itself entirely too seriously for any movie called The Killing Tree.
I love it. But see, I'm going to watch it now just because my curiosity is through the roof now.
It's not as fun as it should be. It's a lot of pissing time. It's kind of boring, but there are a few parts of it that did make me laugh. Yes, okay. Jay gets it.
Jay knows what's up. All right, Brandon, what are your 2 honorable mentions for your least favorite of the year?
So I'm gonna have to go with the Jordan Peele's Nope. I have to go with that. I thought it was going to be something.
Okay.
And I'm a big Jordan Peele fan. But I thought it was going to be like, oh, man, aliens, signs and all of this. And it just was not what I thought it was. I like the way it was shot. I love the character, of Keke Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya did a great job. It just didn't hit the mark for me. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Kim was in a coma right there, Brandon.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Kim, man. It was a note. It was a note for me.
That's a nope for nope.
And I'm gonna have to go with the Netflix Texas Chainsaw. It was like, okay, I liked parts of. I saw what they were trying to do and where they were going, but I feel like it was almost like a cash grab. And every time I saw the scenes, that's what I just kept thinking, and it just didn't feel like a Texas Chainsaw movie. And I'm not a big fan of Texas Chainsaw, but I just knew that wasn't what it was supposed to be. So,
ironically enough, I feel like if you took Sally Hardesty's character out of that movie, it would have been a better movie.
Yeah,
they did her character.
They messed her.
Nothing.
And I don't think it was their character to put in there.
Right.
Toby Hooper has passed. Marilyn Burns has passed.
Yeah,
they were trying to pull off that Halloween trilogy hype.
Yeah.
And honestly, I really thought they disrespected Toby Hooper pretty hard. And then the way they killed her off, the way they brought her forward without any consideration to what that character actually would have become. She was broken at the end of that movie.
Yeah.
More likely, she'd be like how she is at the end of Next Generation, where she's in a mental, hospital. So I thought that was a big middle finger to Toby Hooper, and that upset me.
They literally threw her in the trash.
Yeah.
I know, bro. I was like, you did not just throw her on the pile of trash bags.
Yeah,
are you kidding me?
But beyond that, the rest of the movie was kind of campy fun, and I had a good time. I just really hated what they did with her.
Yeah, it's like you like certain things they tried to do with the character. Texas Chainsaw, what he was doing, the kills, the blood, and the gore was. I'm not too big on I know it's crazy, but bloody things too much. But it was he was cool, the stuff he did, but. That's why I liked it. The story and everything was.
When the wrist like that, literally had me go, oh
yeah. I hate stuff like that. It's like, oh man. So yeah, those are my picks.
There we go. I know you had a huge list, and this is probably hard to narrow down. But what did you decide on, man, for your honorables?
All right, so for my honorables, I'm going to go with, and I do want to again say, my honorable mentions, they're not bad, but I'm disappointed because of what I built them up for in my head. And the first one's going to be Hellraiser. I went into this extremely excited, Jamie Clayton and what she could bring to the Pinhead character. And I'm not an overly sexual person when it comes to film. Like, that's not what I look for in a film. But that Hellraiser franchise, especially the first and second one, is all about the sexuality. And you didn't get a lot of that in this movie. Like, you got sex scenes, sure, but I mean, like, the overt sexualness of the gash, even though I hate calling them that, but of them, you know, of Pinhead, of all of them, the Cenobites, the gash of Cenobites, you know, their BDSM stuff. Like, that's what the movie was based
I like how you
on.
put your hands up.
I know, like, I feel like I'm saying the worst things possible right now. But
You're such a dad.
I know I am. I'm such a dad. That the other one for me is a movie that I was so stoked on. Like, I was so stoked about it. I was ready for it. I watched it and I was just so bummed. And it's Mr. Harrigan's Phone, Stephen King adaptation. It was like I was on a roller coaster and I was going to the top and I was going to the top and I'm ready to go over that first hill and it broke down. So they had to take me back down and I had to walk away. Nothing happened once I got to the top of that hill. I didn't get the exciting downpour. So, again, those two, I don't hate them, but I built them up so much in my mind that there was no way they could have lived up to the expectations of what I had for them. So Hellraiser and Mr. Harrigan's Phone for me.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, and we do that to ourselves sometimes, don't we? We'll get so, our expectations for a movie, we get so high and excited, and we get so pumped, and then we get let down because it didn't meet those expectations that we imposed on ourselves. And that stinks when that happens. It's a worse feeling when you walk out of a movie thinking, dang, man, that was rough.
I think that's why this year was so surprising, because it started off for me as kind of, you know, being a little disappointing. I know, and don't hate me, everyone loves Scream 5 and everyone was raving about it. And I saw it and I'm like, I don't hate it, but it's my least favorite of the Scream movies.
Right.
You know, I thought it was a little derivative. It wasn't as, everyone said it was as good as the first one. I'm like, not by a long shot. Not by a long shot. Luckily the year went way up from there because it started with Firestarter and Scream 5. And I was like, oof, stiff brother.
Yeah. Right? Oh gosh. Well, for my honorables, I also had a hard time narrowing it to two. I even put a third one down just because I wanted to, but I'm gonna have to say one of them was one that I went into with not high expectations, but hopeful expectations, hoping to really be impressed and blown away. And it was unfortunately a significant letdown. It was for the movie Bed Rest with Melissa Barrera, the original Hulu original, and yeah,
I never heard of this.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Yeah, it was rough. Eric, I see your hand up already. Go ahead.
Are we in class?
Oh, I always do that. I'm always just, I don't want to interrupt people. I like network connections can get crossed and I'll think someone's done talking, but then like as soon as I start, so I always just do this until I'm called upon. Someone on, sorry to interrupt, but someone on Reddit today in the Scream subreddit said that they watched Bed Rest and they thought Melissa Barrera gave a Scream Queen level performance in that movie.
Wow. Okay. I didn't see that.
I didn't see that. I can check it out.
Yeah. You should definitely check it out. You know,
I love how you say that. Like, you should maybe walk into traffic.
Sure.
I mean, you know, yeah, the light's red, but you could, you know, you make it lucky.
You're an adult. I trust you. Go for it if you think it's good.
Go for it. Yeah, that's interesting, Eric, that you said that. That's wow. You know, look, like I say, it's everyone watch it for yourself, but it was really, to me, a real disappointment. And again, I was just hoping to see so much more out of that movie and out of her performance, both. And they both were, for me, a letdown. So definitely one of my least favorites of the year. Again, the good news is it was free. So, you know, you can't complain about, you know, getting a refund or anything. That's always good. Now the next two, I'm only going to do one to keep it on par with everyone, and I have to pick between one of these two. So
I love your hand up.
I'm gonna say All right, I'm going to go ahead and go with the movie Unhuman, which was one that I think Eric was actually on a watch party for that one. That was, I'm not going to give anything away, but it had potential for sure, and there were some elements I liked in it. I can't give it away, otherwise it'll spoil the movie. There were some elements I liked, but overall, the script was so cringe. It was so badly, dialogue was so bad. It was terrible. You know, you ever watch a movie where you're like hearing people talk and you're just like, oh, you're just cringing inside. It's so terrible.
Like where you think maybe aliens wrote it?
Yeah, maybe. Or just, yeah, someone who's, there's another movie that's similar to this, which I'm going to talk about later. But there's this common theme where some of these I almost want to say millennial horror movies, almost like they're specifically targeting that demographic, right? I guess that's the best way to put it. And this isn't even about that though. This is beyond that to me. It was just not good writing. I just didn't like it just thought it was poor. So I actually chose that one. The other one I was going to say was Halloween Ends, but I chose Unhuman over Halloween Ends. So Eric?
Unhuman. It's not even inhuman. Like I don't even think that's proper English.
Unhuman. Yeah, Unhuman. Yeah, it makes sense when you see it, but it, again, not one I recommend. Yeah. All right. So those are our goodness gracious, honorable mentions. So how about we start now diving in, because I want to make sure we have time to get all of our topics, starting with our top 5 least favorite horror movies of 2022. And Ken, we're going to start with you now. We're going to reverse the order and go clockwise. So Ken, start us off, my friend. What's number 5?
All right. So I know I said for my honorable mentions, those movies were decent enough. I hate my top 5 movies of this year. The ones that we're going to talk about, I just don't like them. And that's starting with Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I hate this movie.
Oof.
I hated this movie. I'm in the minority of people in the world that don't hate Pete Davidson. Now, to be fair,
I don't hate him.
I'm also one of the few that hasn't dated him yet. But I don't hate Pete Davidson. I actually enjoy his comedy. I don't know the character of the human being because I don't pay that much attention to him. But I've always thought he was a funny guy. And I went into this like, hey, I don't mind Pete Davidson. Let's check this out. And throughout the whole movie, I was just like, I'm old. I'm realizing that I am old. And these characters, every time they talk, I hope they die. Thank you. See, like her, I wanted her to die. Him, yeah, go ahead and die.
What about the guy who's like our age? Did you want him to die? The guy from
the only person I related to was the old guy. Like, and
I thought he was the most cringe. I was like, dude, go find people your own age to hang out with. You're being gross.
You know what? Like,
but I will admit though, I did laugh when they gave the bit about him being a vet. Like that part did make me laugh. Oh, hi. Can you say hello?
Hi, sweetie pie.
Say hi,
hello.
Everybody. Can you say we don't like bodies, bodies, bodies?
I gotta get my bunny.
Okay, you go get your bunny. All right. So yeah, number 5 for me, a movie I just genuinely, and I wanted to like it. I know people that I respect and I admire that really, really enjoyed this movie. So I went into it really with high hopes of enjoying it because of some of the things that I had read and had heard about it. And I just couldn't get into it. People are dying and you're wondering if somebody cheated on you. I don't care. I genuinely don't care. So
because of all that, I kind of guessed the ending. I mean, not specifically what happened, but I did kind of guess that it was
what
you've seen the ending, that it's essentially not what you
shucks.
Right. Okay.
The I thought were really good. I love that gal who was in Brat too. She was really good.
Be quiet, okay?
Yeah. Well,
we got to listen to our
it's funny because that I was just talking about on Unhuman how it's very much like obviously written for a very specific demographic and targeted audience. Bodies falls right into there, and I have more to say about that movie a little bit later, also. But before sneak peek, but before we get there, I have to say really quickly, speaking of being sneaky, Eric here, the Bearded Entertainment, has actually purchased 5 gift memberships on the live stream. Dude, you are stealthy. You're a ninja in disguise, my friend. And thank you so much, my friend. This is awesome. So let's see here. Who got the membership? So Philip Morgan got a membership. Trick or Treat. Jalen also got a membership. Deanna Ryder is now a Cravenite. And Karma is a Cravenite. Welcome, all of you, to the cult of Craven. And you are now in the inner circle with Gory B and all of us Cravenites. Welcome. Glad to have you. And thanks to Eric, my friend, the Bearded Entertainment, for doing that. So generous of you, man. Appreciate it, buddy. That's awesome.
You're very welcome.
So cool. Okay, so Brandon, we are up to you, my friend. Let's talk about your number 5 least favorite horror movie of the year.
Mine is definitely Jeepers Creepers Reborn.
Mm-hmm.
It is terrible. It is terrible, man. Like the green screen that you and Bearded have behind you was better than the green screen that they used in Reborn. I swear, like, it is crazy, man. Like, I got to see it, and I remember just walking out so confused. I'm like,
dang,
what is really going on? Like, this has to be a joke, man. And I support, I know how hard it is to make a film. I'm no one. But it's like, man, it's almost like what Gory said. Like, if you don't have the money for a film, if you don't have the stuff to make this, maybe you should hold off. Just hold off and just kind of like play safe, because man, now it's like it's forever. That movie is forever now. So
and it would have been so easy to go to an actual forest and film the scenes.
I have a lot to say, but no surprise, this will be on my list later on. So
I was going to say, I bet it will. Yes.
I'm sensing some overlap amongst the lists here.
You could have just went to a park.
When it is time.
It's so many parks. It's so many campsites. As you can do. Why? I don't know.
I never saw it because everyone warned me to not watch. Like they don't do it. And I heard so much horror stories about it, and
not the kind we like.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, if you go into it expecting it, can be fun, but yeah, I haven't. One day, maybe for a watch party, if we all want to get together. And Brandon, you're coming too, buddy. Yes, I'm dragging you there, and we might just do it and have a good time.
I'm telling you, Craven, man, it's crazy.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, man. Gory B, my friend, what's your 5th ranked least favorite?
This one was really disappointing for me. So, like I said, I saw worse movies this year, guys. I watch a lot of bottom of the barrel crap. But usually when I'm watching crap, I'm like, you gave me crap. I knew what I was doing. It's like when you touch the stove, you're gonna get burned. But these are movies that I was looking forward to. And I'm like, come on, that sucks. So Sci-Fi's been killing it the last few years. They went from being a channel that was putting out crap to really turning it around. They turned it around with Leprechaun Returns, which is one of the best Leprechaun sequels. They turned it around with the Chucky TV series. They turned it around with Slumber Party Massacre, the remake, which was tremendous. I'm like, you guys are on fire right now. So when I hear that they're not only going to give me another movie, which I'm excited about anyway, but that it's a Bring It On movie, and we're going horror for part 7, I was just like, just take my fucking money. This sounds amazing. It sounds right up my alley. It's Bring It On, Cheer or Die. I was just like, this writes itself. It's going to be amazing. I was so disappointed that this was not fun. It should have been fun. It would have been so easy to make this fun. It's so forgettable. It's so lazy. I was just like, why? I mean, the cheerleading was cool. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. I did a cartwheel once and I broke my foot. So I was like, well, that's cool that humans can do that stuff. But the horror was weak and forgettable. The acting was the story was terrible. And the jokes were terrible. I mean, they were like not even dad jokes, like that weird uncle that you don't really want to talk to jokes. It was just like cringy and terrible. Highly do not recommend this one. Huge disappointment.
That's too bad.
That's too bad.
That's too bad.
I do love that movie though.
Me too. Yes. Oh dang. Love it.
Yeah, man.
Oh gosh. All right, Eric. How about you, man? What's your fifth one?
My number 5 least favorite was Pray for the Devil.
I haven't seen that yet, but the trailers looked atrocious.
So there's a part in the trailer that gets you really excited. And if you've seen the trailer, you probably know what I'm talking about. And then
before every horror movie this year.
Right? And then I was like, okay, I can't wait to see this just for that scene. There's nothing more in the movie than you got in the trailer. Like literally every part of that scene that you think would exist doesn't exist. It's just that bit. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And it boils down to the whole thing. This woman wants to reinvent the process of exorcism by just loving the person and showing them that you're here for them, and that'll heal everything and take the demons away. And I'm like, really?
Wow.
Like, this isn't how it works. So yeah, there was some, like, they could have done a lot with it, because there was this real, like, the creepiest parts actually were flashbacks. And then, but yeah, it had some of your, it was very formulaic, I'll say that. Like, if you've seen one exorcism movie, you've seen this one, and what you thought you were going to get from the trailers, you might not be getting.
Yep. It's so disappointing. In fact, it's so funny you mentioned that comment. I haven't seen that movie, but there's a movie that's on my list. I'm going to save it because it's coming. But I was talking to my daughter literally like an hour ago, a couple hours ago, and I was having that same conversation. I said how the trailer really looks one way, and when you get into it, it's just not. I'm like, if the movie had delivered like that 2 minutes did, it could have been really good. But I know exactly what you mean. It's such a letdown when they do that. All right. Well, speaking of letdowns, I guess I'm up for mine. Number 5. Oh yeah. So my number 5, I narrowed down to the remake, the to-be original of Terror Train 2022 remake.
That just sounds terrible. I tried watching it and I didn't get very far.
Okay, so you understand where I'm coming from.
Yes.
All right.
I got like 4 minutes into it and I was like, and we're done.
Yeah, life's
too short.
Hey, Craven.
Yeah.
Wasn't Terror Train the first horror movie that you ever watched?
Yes, and I was about to say that, Ken. That's right, on your channel. That's right. And I was like, I have to watch the remake because it was the first horror movie. I'm shocked you remember that, Ken. You got a good memory, dude. That was a long time ago. And it was my first. And so I said, I got to watch this. And I went in there trying to be open. I mean, I was open-minded, and they changed some things. They had kept true to something, a lot of it. I'm sorry. It's just, for me, was very, very disappointing. It was like a made-for-TV movie, but not like a good team, not like Salem's Lot, which was good. I mean, but I'm talking about like a bad made-for-TV movie. It did have a twist to the ending that I did foresee towards the very end. I was correct. It's a little different ending than the original. That's all I'm going to say. So that was okay. That was the only part I actually liked, really, honestly. The rest of it was very much a sleeper. So if you're looking for a good Sunday afternoon nap kind of movie, just to throw on and watch for like 15 minutes, and then you just go out, you wake up and it's over, that's a good one I would recommend. The remake of Terror Train. That's my number 5. This is so much fun. You guys having a good time? I'm having a blast, man.
Yeah.
This is great. Just going through all these movies with you guys. It's so much fun. Okay, we're going to flip the order once again. So now, Eric, you're going to be up next now. Let's start with you with your number 4 least favorite.
So we're going like the NFL draft. You go one way, then you flip and go back.
Yep.
Okay.
Or
right.
for now, and I may switch it up though. So stay tuned.
All right. My number 4, got to look at my list here, is actually Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Once again, it hurts me to put on there. There were very enjoyable parts of it. I give it a little bit of a pass because of all the backstage problems that it went through. Like, it switched production companies. I think that wasn't me, was it?
I'm not sure what that was.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, it had so many problems in production that, quite honestly, the movie we did get was better than it probably should have been. But still, it didn't live up to. Also, that's kind of hard to say. You can't really say it didn't live up to Texas Chainsaw because there's been some crap in the Texas Chainsaw franchise already. But it wasn't what I hoped it would be. I'll give it that. But yeah, so my number 4 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay. All right, Gory B, what did you settle in on for number 4? Oh, on mute. You are muted. Still muted.
Sorry, did it in the wrong place. Okay, these are the ones for me that were disappointing because I was really looking forward to them. So I am a big reader, and one of my favorite horror authors is Grady Hendrix, who's done Horror Store, who's done the Final Girl Support Group, and this book, My Best Friend's Exorcism. His books are so lovingly crafted, not just the stories, but like this one looks like a high school yearbook. It's so exciting that he was finally getting a live action adaptation of one of his books, the first being this one. I know they're going to do like a TV show for Final Girl Support Group. So yeah, I was stoked. We also had the girl who was in House by the Lake, which I thought was a really good sleeper hit. The same girl who was in 8th grade and Texas Chainsaw was in it. So yeah, I thought this was going to be really good. I love this book. This book so captures like the friends you have when you're a little kid, like the way it captures it so well. It captures being a kid in the 80s so well. I love this. The movie didn't have that. It didn't feel like the 80s. It didn't feel fun. I didn't get the bond between these two girls, which you need to get that. And really the theme of this book is when you have that best friend when you're a little kid that is just like your brother, your sister, and then you get a little bit older and you start to drift apart, and it can be for a lot of different reasons. But in this one, she's like, it's because the bitch is possessed. And everyone's like, nah, honey, nah, it happens. We're growing up. And she's like, nah, bitch is possessed. We're going to get her an exorcism. In the movie, you're just like, you guys aren't really clicking that well anyway. She's just, I don't know, it didn't work. And then the exorcism, which is kind of funny because she ends up getting kind of like this TV religious guy to do it. And it's fun in the book. In the movie, they gave it way too much screen time because they got the guy who was on Glow. So they gave it too much screen time and it wasn't funny at all. It was soulless. It lacked any of the passion or fun. It didn't deliver the themes, which is really sad, guys. I need a cuddle.
I know.
I need my security blanket. It's just sad, especially when, I've read this book like 3 times, I was so looking forward to it, but
bummer. Oh, it's so disappointing, man. It kills you when you see those things happen like that, and every once in a while, I don't really do a lot of reading of the novels and stuff in general. However, I'll have a lot of friends that do, and I always hear the same thing most of the time. They're like, oh, this movie just missed so many marks, and the book's so much better. And I'm like, dang. But it's sad. It's still disappointing. All right, Brandon, where are we at with you, my friend? Let's go with your number 4.
So I'm going to have to agree with Bearded and say Pray for the Devil. It was like, I'm real big into like paranormal, Conjuring, and Insidious type of. It's exactly what he said. I'm not even going to waste time. Like with the trailer, you're like, ooh, when you see it. And I want to say they kind of showed it like around the time when they go see Halloween Ends. Maybe I'm tripping out, or maybe before. I just remember seeing a trailer like, I'm excited. This is going to be different. Like, and I remember just seeing it and being like, what is going on? Like, this is Catfish, man. This is literally Catfish.
Dang.
Yeah, this movie is Catfish. So yeah, number 4 for me is Pray for the Devil.
Oh man, okay. Seeing some trends, and I figure we're gonna probably have some of these we're all gonna have general, so we're gonna hit on some of the same things, which so that's cool. Ken, how about you, man? What's your number 4?
My number 4 is a movie that is not very well known, but I saw a trailer for it. I got very excited, watched the movie, and was very disappointed. And it's called Hypochondriac. The story of a man who has a mentally ill mother, and he's scared that that's rubbing off on him. Yes, ma'am. You can go get a snack. And so, like, you know, he's in a homosexual relationship with his partner, and he starts to distrust his partner in the story. And there was so much about it that was very predictable. And the acting, the best part of this movie was the acting. The acting was on point. Great acting from your 2 lead males. They were great. They were convincing. You really felt like these were 2 men that were truly in love, truly happy. But then the way that they drifted, it didn't make sense to me for people to be that in love to fall apart the way that it happened. And the amount of plot holes that don't get any type of resolution, that's probably my biggest pet peeve when it comes to a film, is when you end a film. I mean, a sequel cliffhanger doesn't bother me too much, but when you end a film with just so many different plot holes that have no resolution whatsoever, it really annoys the hell out of me. It's very lazy writing. And
Halloween Kills.
Huh?
Halloween Kills.
Well, see, at least Halloween Kills, you knew you were getting another chapter. You know, so you knew, like, if you had plot holes, if you had something that was unresolved, you had a chance of it being resolved in the next film. You know, there's no chance of getting a sequel to this film. And they still leave a bunch of plot holes and a bunch of unresolved issues that were just like, they'll forget about it by the time we get to the climax. No, we didn't. We still remember how shitty your writing was. Yeah, that's how we felt, huh? Yeah. So Kenley and I's pick for number 4 is, can you say Hypochondriac? That one.
Killing it, Kenley. You're killing it.
Chucky's here.
Chucky's here. Is Chucky your favorite? Oh, no, you see Chucky was
Kenley,
gory, huh?
can you do me a big favor? Can you say Chucky did it? That would just make my day.
Can you say what?
Chucky did it.
Daddy's has big Chucky too.
Daddy has a big Chucky too.
That's why your daddy's cool.
Can I have big Chucky?
Hey, can you say hi, I'm Chucky, wanna play?
Hi, my Chucky, wanna play?
You're my favorite YouTuber now.
Good job, baby.
Bravo! All the thumbs up for you, darling.
We can't play. All right, but we're gonna let Craven do his now, okay? Say your turn, Craven. What's your number 4?
Ghostface.
Ghostface.
There we go.
Ghostface down there?
That's awesome.
Oh man,
That's so good, man. All right, so my number 4 for my least favorite is one that's already been called, so I don't have a ton to add, but it is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. Yeah, it's I wanted to like this movie, and I did like the mechanic, Riker or whatever his name was. I can't remember his name. The mechanic guy, he was a good character, but
I was bummed when he got killed off because he was the one person I kind of liked.
I know, right? The same
I'm
here.
not gonna lie, I kind of thought the movie was fun. I think they're trying. I think they're trying to do too many different like things. I was like, okay, what is your message again?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's true. I mean, there were so many things, and it did feel like they were wanting to be Halloween 2018, and they were just Anyway, I won't rehash. We've really covered the biggest issues I had. The Sally Hardesty treatment was unforgivable, and just it was so clunky. And then the blatant ripoff of Nightmare on Elm Street when the girls are leaving at the end in the truck, and he grabs her through the window and pulls her out. I said, "Are you serious? You are literally ripping off the end of Nightmare on Elm Street with the front door." I said, "This is ridiculous." So yeah, I wanted to like it, but I just can't go there. So for me, number 4,
laughed my ass off at the ending. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I love that the Tesla on autopilot like took her away, so she's like, "You can't do nothing about it. We're getting out of here." The Tesla was like, "You may want to die, girl, but I don't."
I'll be honest, I do like the flip there. Hey, that's my wife. I know her.
There she is.
I like that juxtaposition of from the original to this one. In the original, how you have her laughing, being, if you will, autopiloted, drove away after she had escaped. And in this one, you have the flip of her crying because she just watched her sister die while she's getting autopiloted, drove away. So I did very much enjoy that, that flip on its head from the original to the remake of Texas Chainsaw. That was one thing that I thought was actually kind of intelligent, like how you had that flip of what had happened in the original to the reboot or whatever. I did enjoy that ending personally.
Well, and Cheers to Fears, it's got the right idea. I think watching it in a group setting would make it a better movie. I think the experience would be more enjoyable. I think, some movies, honestly, we talk about this a lot here on the channel in watch parties. It does make a difference when you're with friends. There's something added. And even a movie that you're not that crazy about, like Bed Rest. Like I was able to actually have at least some entertainment value because we were with friends. If I was watching that by myself, I would have had to put, I don't know, toothpicks in my eyes or something. I don't know what I would have done. But
we also did the Star Wars holiday special.
Perfect. There you go. That's even better. Yeah, that's exactly right. And real quick, before we continue on, and guys, listen, help me remember where we're at. I just went, didn't I? So we're starting.
Yeah, so everyone needs to do 3 now.
We're going to do 3. Okay, so before we do that, I want to do 2 things. First off, I want to say to everyone who's in the chat, and Val, you're killing it, mod in the chat. Thank you so much. You are the general. You're amazing. You know how much I love you, Val. Thank you so much.
Awesome job.
And I see Sarah's popping in now. Sarah Campbell, another mod, and Katie's popping in for popping the popcorn, Indonesia. So
thanks for sharing our links, Val. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that's actually what I was stopping to talk about. That's what I wanted to talk about for a second. So before we go to number 3, guys, make sure all of you subscribe to my guest tonight. Every one of them are amazing content creators. They're friends of mine, of the channel, of the community. They are just great people. And, I always tell you, and I will always be truthful with this, that I will never bring someone on my panel that I don't believe, number one, brings you value for your time to watch their content, but most importantly, that aren't really great people. And that's what matters, number one, above anything else. Yeah. So these are amazing people that I call my friends. And so I just, please go and show them love. If you've not subscribed to them yet, please do so right now. And the links are in the chat. And number 2 thing, before we continue on, is we got a couple of super chats that have come through. So I always promise you guys to move you to the front of the line. And so we're going to do that right now with Eddie Chase coming in with $5 super chat. Thanks, Eddie. You are the man, my friend. So Babylon and Black Phone were amazing. Okay. X was good too. For the worst, he's got Halloween Ends, silly background movie, ? Terror Train, and Terror Train 2 already released.
Terror Train 2? Am I?
Yes.
What?
Right?
There's a sequel already?
Yes.
Released 2 months later. Wow.
It was released almost back
I
to back.
have a feeling this isn't following the same trend as X and Pearl, where it's just like, wow, that was really good. Maybe they reverse, like, wow, that was really bad.
Glory be. That's blasphemy to mention those movies together.
I'm sorry. I have a feeling by the end of the stream, I'm going to be so canceled for my.
Oh, it's all right. You're all right. You're always welcome here. Don't worry.
Oh, but, wait till we get to my favorites of the year. We'll see if you still say that.
Oh, no. Okay. Now you got me worried. Okay. But seriously, Terror Train 2. All right. I've got to at least
Watch Party.
Into it. Watch Party. There you go. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, Watch Party. 100%. And Eddie, real quick, good list, my friend. And thank you for your super chat. And as I do with every super chat, guys, I always want to celebrate with a special clip for you guys. So some of my newer clips that I've added in the last few days is some self-defense clips here. And, it's important to know how to defend yourself in all circumstances. And here are a couple that just remind us some of the great pressure points to hit if we have to defend ourselves.
Up yours, buddy. Boom, I hit him with a punch. Because if I plant a punch on him right away, working his throat area.
You see where this is to the groin, which we get the reaction here. And then this is to the groin, which 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 this is to the groin.
So I think he's stretching.
Oh my God!
I think he's
where?
stretching.
Where?
This is to the groin. That's
the groin.
it. That's the
To
big
the groin.
takeaway. Oh, dang, guys. Eddie, thank you so much for your super chat, my buddy. I appreciate it. And we've got from DJ Jack, we've got ourselves a $5 super sticker. And the super sticker is this cool dude lifting weights, and he's saying, keep it up. Thank you, man. That's so kind. We're going to keep it up. We're going to keep it up for sure. And you're helping to make that happen. So, DJ Jack, you're awesome. Thanks for that super sticker. And let's see here. How about we change it up a little bit, because self-defense can go not only to humans and other people, but to appliances. So you got to be careful on all fronts, like this individual.
In the water, and you got to hear these clicks. Oh God, what? Oh God, what's happening?
I mean,
that was the most carbonated soda in all of history.
That was giving me flashbacks of Maximum Overdrive.
Yes.
Crazy.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean,
we need to watch party that one.
Oh, yes, we do. I'm a game.
That's good fun.
Any day. You just let me know. Yeah, appliances can fight back sometimes. What's up, JT from the Horror Boys?
What's going on, buddy?
Up, my man. Yeah. All right, so let's get back to it now. We're starting with our third least favorite horror movie. And Ken, we'll start with you now and go clockwise again. So what is your number 3, my friend?
My number 3 is about the most disgusting creature you could possibly imagine in the world, men.
Never saw it.
I hated it.
I actually blocked that shit out. I should have probably put that on my list.
Wow.
Yeah,
man.
It was on my list to watch, but maybe I shouldn't. Go ahead, Ken.
Bravo for the gorgeous cinematography, though. But that ending is burned into my brain.
There's just so much about this movie that's like, it's a movie talking about how shitty men are, told from the perspective of a woman, written by men, with no women on set. Like, there was just so much about it that
okay,
it's like it's almost pandering.
Its theme is Puddle Deep.
Yeah, it's almost pandering without knowing what you're pandering to. I don't mind a movie with a message. Horror has had, political and since it started, like horror started with political messages and current event messages. But be a horror movie first, and have your message in there. Don't just shove it down my throat, especially when you don't know what the hell you're talking about. So the performances were good. The dude playing all the different characters I thought looked good. Yeah, that was good. But there was just so many times throughout the story I was like, oh, are you serious right now? Like this is what we're doing at this
I read
moment?
an interview from the director that basically said, that ending scene, I'm going to call it the Russian doll to not spoil it. Basically, he had that idea first and he wrote the movie around it, and you can kind of tell. It's another one of those movies, kind of like False Positive, where I just feel like we, as in women, we don't need you to speak for us. Maybe just sit down.
Thank you. Then that's my big thing. Like, as someone that's been married for 17 years, I've been with my wife since high school. I have 2 daughters. I don't need to speak for them. I've had my son who's 14 ask me, Dad, why do we believe in God? We don't. I do. And I will give you the tools to make your own decision, but that's something you choose, not me. And I feel like if everybody looked at it that way, where you give the people around you the tools to be able to make their own decisions in their life, I'll guide you. I'll do what I can to help you, but I'm not going to speak for you. I'm not going to make your decisions for you. And I feel like if we could all start to do that a little bit more, we could advance a little farther from where we are right now. So there's my TED Talk. Number 3 for me is men.
Awesome, man. Real quick, say hello to Chris from Discover Montreal. My man Chris, who will be joining me later this month. What's going on, man? I'll be having him on the panel soon. And if you guys have not seen my video from today, it dropped this morning, regarding the location of the opening sequence for Scream 6's kill scene. Guys, you need to go check it out. Chris hooked me up with the photos and the location, and I did a whole bunch of side-by-side comparisons, and you guys got to watch the video if you haven't seen it. And I'm still excited about that one. Thank you, Chris. You're the man. Eric.
And real quick, Craven, I just want to say, for those of you that don't know Sledgehammer Horror, it's not just me. It's my wife, Ashley, as well. And she really, really, really wanted to be here tonight, but she is a respiratory therapist. She works third shift. She's in the chat. She wishes she could be here. She's not just dissing you, Craven, but
I know.
She really, really wanted to be here.
Ashley's awesome.
Yeah, I totally understand. I figured that when she was working. We miss you, Ashley, and we'll do it next time. Next time for sure. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Eric, did you have a quick comment you wanted to make before we move on?
Yeah, I just want to throw this out there because I know this is a safe space to actually have a conversation.
Yeah.
So this is like full transparency. Men was on my list originally, but I was having a discussion with some other people in a Reddit thread, and the second I said that I didn't like men, immediately they're like, "Oh, just because you're a white man." Like, of course you wouldn't like it. I'm like,
to do with that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and immediately I was attacked. Like, oh, you just don't like it because it calls you out for being a terrible person. And I'm like,
wow.
No.
I didn't like it either, and I'm a woman, honey. So
it was, but what you said, Ken, was 100% true. Like they had a message and then try to build a movie around that versus having a movie and adding in like giving people information. So, but yeah, full transparency, it was on my list, but I didn't want to get any hate, and I'm like, we'll just leave it off.
Man, look, let me tell you something. If anybody starts spitting hate in this chat on my panel, you're gone. I mean, everybody, you guys know, of course you wouldn't be on my panel if you did anyway, but if you're in the chat, you know that, we don't zero tolerance here for anything like that. It's not happening. Not here. No. Somewhere else, maybe go find them, but we don't do that over here.
I will say, in defense of men, I think I say this a lot when I review movies. I think our enjoyment of something is just one part of it. And the themes failing, which they did in this movie, is just a part of it. But the performances are really strong. Jessie Buckley does a great job. It's gorgeous. One of the most gorgeous movies I've seen. And the music and the soundtrack are really good. So for those reasons, it doesn't make my list, but I absolutely understand why it makes yours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what you just said, to demonize you for being a straight white man, that's such low hanging fruit. I
didn't say straight, but I'm a white man.
Well, that movie takes shots at women too. The whole eating the fruit, we're the blame for everything.
It's so easy to demonize somebody without knowing why they don't like something. Like, you're a white dude, get out of here. That's why you don't like it. That's the lowest hanging fruit, man. I'm sorry you got people that are doing that stuff to you.
That's why I didn't say it earlier, though, because I'm looking at it like, we're just going to go with a different one just because. But yeah.
I will say, I respect when people just speak their mind. There was a lot of people. I remember when the Black Christmas remake came out. I'm like, we all know it's shitty. So why are so many guys saying it's not that bad? I'm like, you're afraid we're going to call you sexist.
Yep.
Just speak your mind.
That's right. They don't want to be canceled.
I think
really, really quickly though, on that movie, if you paid attention, it was the message they were trying to get. They completely messed up. Because the whole message was like guys are toxic and this is it. But then you show that they're actually under some sort of mind control. They weren't doing it. So what message are you trying to say? Sorry, that movie
they don't need to take responsibility for their actions, apparently. That's what the message of the movie was to me. It was bad. You're right.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It was rough. But you know what?
We'll have a whole conversation about this one of these days.
We could totally do a whole stream on just this topic alone.
We'll do in defense of dudes stream.
Which I have to say, Eric is and I love this for you, Eric, because Eric knows I don't go on Reddit. I refuse to go into that toxic pool. And so Eric is my designated Reddit. Like anything with Scream or Stu or anything else, Eric's the soldier that goes into Reddit and he mires through all that mess. And if there's anything we're talking about, he'll hey man, he'll let me know. Thank you, Eric, by the way, because I can't deal with all that, dude.
Oh, dude, it's fine. But just so you know, I've been fighting wars on Reddit here in the last week since that the Subway poster came out and all the with the stew. Oh my God! Every time it happens, like I cannot help myself. Anytime I see something, like if you just say I don't like, I don't think Stu's coming back, that's fine. But the titles will literally say stuff like insulting people, like you're stupid if you think Stu's coming back. And I'm like, let me just pop in here and let you know where I'm coming from.
Yeah, man.
I something I think a lot is, as people who love horror, we're already in kind of our own subculture where we're told by mainstream audiences that what we like, it's not original, it's the same thing every time, it's not quality cinema, that's why it's not at the Oscars. We're already part of the subculture. So amongst ourselves, let's be a little more accepting, be like, hey, you have a different opinion than me, but you love horror, so you're all right. Like it's okay that we like different movies or hate different movies, but this is our community, guys. Let's show each other a little more respect.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. 100%. And speaking of showing respect and supporting the community, Katie's coming in with a $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Katie, from Popping the Popcorn. One of my moderators, great friend, and content creator. All three. She's the trifecta. Such an amazing panel. I love y'all. Well, thank you. We love you too. This is a beautiful panel. I'm telling you. Love it. Love it. All of these that my friends could be here tonight. This is so cool.
Yeah, we need thumbs up for all the amazing beards on this panel, guys. We got Craven beards, we got Sledge beards, we got Alex Scary beards, we got some bearded beards. All kinds of beards, guys.
That's right. We absolutely. This is a good point that you bring that up. Yes, if you have not hit that thumbs up button, as Gory B said, please smash it now. Let's show this amazing panel how much we all appreciate them being here tonight and sharing their opinions and their time with us. So let's hit that thumbs up button. It helps us get to more people as the stream continues tonight, and it helps it in replay mode. So we greatly appreciate it. And Katie, for your
button or be cursed.
Boom. Drop that mic. Now, here's the thing for Katie. It's an important topic. We were talking about self-defense earlier. Well, kind of going with self-defense is work safety, workplace safety, whether you're working at home, if you're in a plant, if you're on wherever you're at, it doesn't matter. It's important to be aware of workforce dangers. So here's some examples of that. Here's one in particular.
Don't you just hate it when that happens?
Dude, and that's terrible.
Where do you get
We've all been there.
We've all been there. Eric, Brandon, that is the question that we it's one of life's mysteries, as Tom Cruise said. It's one of life's mysteries.
That is insane, man. That is crazy.
Oh man. And believe me, if you guys want to see more work safety clips, just send in your super chats and we'll continue to show those tonight as the stream continues. All right. Oh, and Danny, that's how I lost my last job.
His new job's way better though.
That's so cool.
He gets to work in a nerd store, so he's happy.
Oh, fantastic. All right. Brandon, I believe we're up on you now. Let's keep me straight, right? Yeah. Okay. Number 3. For your third least favorite.
Bodies.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's just, man, it's cringe, man. Yeah. It's super cringe. I'm not even going to just, talk too much about it. It's just cringe. It's like a knockoff Scream, like who done it type of thing. And it's just cringe, man.
Yeah.
So yeah. I try to give it a chance, but it was moments I was on my phone. I usually try to put my phone down when I'm watching a movie. I'm just like, I don't even want to, but I'm finding myself just scrolling. I'm like, you know what, man, this is not it.
I will say, because Bodies has got a lot of hate, because it is cringe, but it is intentionally cringe. It's kind of attacking that whole Generation Z, like we're so woke. Yeah, you can say the right words, but it can be really, really hollow. And these kids in this movie are like the 1%ers. They're super privileged. And so they use all the right words that, supposedly mean that they're woke and they care about people, but they're very shallow. And I thought it did a good job, but you're also supposed to want to see them killed off.
Yeah.
Minority opinion here.
But
oh no, it succeeded in that. Like I definitely wanted them to die.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, but when you're making a movie, you also want people to watch it again. Unfortunately, they don't think they found the balance for a lot of us. But yeah, you're right.
I thought it was really funny when they're talking about like their safe space and stuff. Like I thought it was funny, but
I really enjoyed it the first time. Like it's not going to be on my list.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of list, Gory B, what was your third?
Oh, balls. So I'm coming in with Firestarter.
Oh,
me too.
Yeah.
Because, I love Stephen King. I love this book. I love the original with Drew Barrymore. When I was a kid, I used to get the hair dryer, make my hair fly all back and be like, well, that was before the song, but I love that movie. It's such a great movie. I love Drew Barrymore. I love the relationship she had with her dad. That movie's great and great special effects. So it's like, okay, well, let's see what we can do now with, all the technology we have. And it's so disappointing. We had fireballs and shit in the original. This one, it's so weak looking. It didn't look like it's like, where did you spend the money on your budget?
Yeah,
I couldn't fathom it. The climax was so anticlimactic. I knew we were in for trouble when I saw that trailer and she's like, liar, liar, pants on fire. I'm like, girl,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're also trying to play off of this superhero thing, making her more like a superhero. And I'm just like, you guys are not getting what this book was, what this, you're not getting it. I thought Zac Efron, and why it's not number one, I thought he did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
But and I liked how they showed a little bit more of his relationship with his wife before they had their kid. That part I liked. I absolutely hated Charlie in this. Again, I feel like this was a movie made by money people, not creative people. They're ticking all the boxes. They're like, okay, what did well last year? It chapter 2? Give me that kid. Give me a kid from It chapter 2. So they get her. And she was wonderful in It chapter 2. But I think the directors here probably just didn't know how to work with kids. It's a movie. You're asking this little girl to carry a movie. That is a lot. That's a lot to put on a little girl's shoulders. And they gave her a bad character. I don't think they directed her well. I know she's talented, but I don't think she carried the movie well. And I don't think it's her fault. I blame the director. The way they wrote this character was abysmal. I love Charlie. I being a little girl who read this book, I thought she was kick ass. She kills a fucking cat in this movie. If you're going to add extra shit, add something from the book, please. Don't make up your own crap, okay? You're not good at it. You are not good at it. Don't kill cats. Killing cats and dogs is how you upset people. And then we have to have Zac Efron be like, well, we got to put it out of its misery. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing right now?
Yeah.
Spend this time you're using to try to be creative and come up with more fireballs for that climax because y'all wasting your time. All right, I'm done.
I love it. I love it. All right, Eric, what do you have, sir, for number 3?
My number 3 was actually Firestarter as well. My biggest thing, like what she said, but the only thing I'll add is there's no reason for this movie to exist. Like it just, they didn't try to do anything really different than the first one. They didn't improve on anything from the first one. Like if anything, I think it was like they maybe hit some beats that might be considered as good. But other than that, and financially, like it may have been made by money people, but it actually made like less than the original Firestarter, even not even taken into
And then consider inflation, like how much.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you consider inflation, that original made so much more. So I know there was originally plans for a part 2. I don't know if it's going to go through with it, but it just didn't need to exist. That's number 3 for me is Firestarter.
Like, I didn't talk about that, but like, dude, your thoughts on the ending? What the fuck was that?
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Did they not read the fucking book? Stephen King wrote you a book, okay? All you had to do was put it in a movie. Somebody else did a movie and showed you how to do it. This is paint by numbers, guys. All right? How did you fuck up so badly?
It's amazing to be anticlimactic and infuriating at the same time.
And I was excited. Another reason I was excited is my one complaint with the original is they whitewashed Rainbird. You know, it's a native character, should have been played by a native man. they do that with this one, and a really great native actor. So I'm like, all right, bravo. Let's see. They destroyed that man's character. That is not Rainbird. And what they did with him at the ending, I was just like jaw dropped. Like, how did you fuck up so badly? Like, did no one love you as children? I'm angry, guys.
Wow. Well, all right. Let's move on to my number 3. And
sorry, Eric.
You're good. No, your guys are good. My number 3 is one we've already talked about. It's Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Yeah, you guys have already said everything I've thought about it. I don't have much to add. It's a movie I don't ever plan to see again. I did when I watched it the first time. It was on a watch party, and the only redeeming factor for me was that the ending was not what I expected it to be. So it did, some people maybe have figured it out. I'm not going to say anything more than that. So I did like that. I was like, oh, okay, I didn't figure it out, but I really didn't like the way it ended. It just was like, really? Okay. And so I like that I didn't see it coming, but I didn't like it how it was done. So that's for me. It was just not a good movie. That's all for me. Wish I had better things I could say personally, but anyway, I don't. All right, let's keep moving here. Number 2 of our least favorite, and Ken, we'll start with you, man.
All right, real quick, that was awesome. You're like, I wish I could say more, but I can't.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm not a big fan of this director anyway, but I did have high hopes to see what he could do with a family movie, and it wasn't good. And I'm gonna say Rob Zombie's The Munsters. I despised this movie. I wanted to like it. Like, I'm not a huge Rob Zombie fan anyway, but and it's not even about him casting his wife and everything. I don't care about that. If I was remaking Jaws, Ashley would be the shark. Like, I would put her in everything I possibly could. So that doesn't bother me. That's my best friend. That's my partner. That's everything I have in my life is because of her. So I get where he's coming from. But at the same time, learn a little bit, don't have her as your lead character in a movie where she shouldn't be the lead character. And there was just so much about the movie that I felt let down. Like, it was I kept checking the timestamp to see how much time I had left.
Oh, it's bad then.
Yeah. It was long.
And so I feel like when you're constantly checking a timestamp, you're not having a good time. So, obviously it's not my least favorite, but it's knocking on the door. So I'm going to go with The Munsters for me at number 2.
That's another one that I think it didn't need to happen. Like, it felt like, because the whole point was to set up the Munsters. He wasn't even grandpa at this point. He was just dad because they didn't have any of the kids. It didn't need to exist that way. Like, it had no purpose.
So I will say with the Munsters, I was upset that people hated it before it came out. With the Munsters, it's historically been this way. People are very quick to naysay anything other than the series. Whereas with Addams Family, people are pretty open to, hey, honey, new movies, new series. I agree it wasn't that great, but I made that opinion after I saw it. I really don't like when people start review bombing before something comes up. As soon as people saw Sherry Moon Zombie was in this, they were hating on her, and I think she's actually pretty good.
I just want to say real quick, and I'm not trying to be argumentative or a dick or anything, but Rusty said The Munsters is made for kids. I still feel like The Munsters is a horror movie. Growing up, to me, if you're making a horror movie for kids, that's still a gateway horror movie. Like Goosebumps, The Addams Family, The Gate, Monster Squad, even Hocus Pocus. To me, yeah, they're children horror movies, but they're still gateway horror movies to get our kids into the stepping stones. So that's why I do include The Munsters as a horror movie. And I'm not trying to talk down or sound like a jerk, but just in defense of myself as to why I put it on my list.
I agree with you.
It's a horror movie aimed at kids. I still feel like it's a horror movie. So that's
I don't think it's aimed at kids. I see The Munsters as a 50s style sitcom with Universal monster movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. Okay. So next up, we've got Brandon. Sorry, I'm trying to keep my head straight. Brandon, what is yours, my friend?
So, man, I'm gonna have to agree with Ken. The Monsters. So, I tried 2 rainy days to watch this. Seriously, like 2 rainy days. I'm trying. I keep falling asleep. And the thing is, I enjoy one Rob Zombie movie. It's the Halloween, 2007. I don't hate him, but he has this certain this look to his films that I'm just not a fan of. I don't know. I'm not a fan of like House of a Thousand Corpse. I'm just not a fan of that. But I tried to give the Monsters a chance because why not? It's the Monsters. It is horror. It's the beginning. I just could not stay woke. I'm so sorry. I just caught I'll doze off, I'll wake up, and then the credits will be rolling. Or, it's on Netflix, something else is playing. I remember like the second time, I want to say like the Hunt the Hill House TV series was playing like episode 4 or something. I'm like, I really was like sleep. I'm like, I'm done with this. I am done with this, man. So I tried, man. So I agree with Ken. It didn't. Yeah.
Tears to Fears is giving you and applauding you for trying twice.
I tried.
Yeah, I'm going to be the outlier. I actually did enjoy the Monsters. I
enjoyed it too.
Yeah, it was like I agree it wasn't great, and I maintain what I said that it didn't have a purpose. But I loved Grandpa as a character, like his back thing, like when he woke up immediately, was really into that. And I forget the brother's name, the wolf guy.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I forget, but I really loved him as a character. So I actually enjoyed it. I'm just gonna. Yeah.
I liked it. I think it was a little too long, and I think the plot was a little aimless. Like I was like, it's over now. Like what the fuck? Pardon me. But yeah, I had a good time. I laughed a lot.
Okay.
With the super fun. Here we go.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Told us not to swear, and here I am.
That's okay. Now, who's up next now? Gory, right? Gory, I think we're for your number.
Okay. Sure. Don't swear. Don't swear. I can do this. I can do this. It gets harder the farther down the list we go, guys. I'm an
Especially on the
animated person.
difficult movies, right?
Oh, fudge me. What the fudge? Holy fudge dripping down the walls. Am I okay?
You're good.
All right.
You're killing it.
Dash cam. Now, I'm going to say this right now. I preach a lot about how movies are art. They are not like, little puppets meant to entertain us. It's okay if a movie challenges us. It's okay if we don't like the characters. But you need to have characters that are at least interesting, characters that have an arc, and characters that have a purpose. I don't like Henry and Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, but he is interesting. That movie challenged me. It's not enjoyable, but it's a great movie. Dashcam is straight up garbage. I hear the writer of the movie said, well, I wanted to write a character that wasn't likable, this character Annie, because we have to live with unlikable people. Here's the thing. You made a character and you say that she can't even tolerate living amongst people in America. She's so upset about the mask laws. She books it over to England. And this character is so unrealistic because somebody this despicable would not have friends. She's terrible. She goes to her best friend's house. She spits on her hand. She punches him. None of my friends would tolerate that. His wife, girlfriend, absolutely fudging hates this woman. And it just doesn't make sense. She is awful. And she has a YouTube show. Sorry, Sledge.
No, just what's even worse about, we'll talk about it again, but what's even worse is it's not a character. That's who she is. This is really her. This is not a lady playing a role.
In fairness, it is though. So it is her real name, but Anne Henner, she's playing this very right-wing character. She's actually liberal in real life. And I do feel bad because she has gotten a lot of hate on Twitter and stuff for this movie. And I think that sucks. We need to separate that stuff, guys. She's a human being. Let's not be the character from this movie and go attacking this woman. That upsets me. We shouldn't be doing that. I'm not saying that. No, obviously nobody here has done it, but I do know that that's been a thing, and that kind of stuff makes me upset. But this character is awful, and I I don't think they got their point across. And so I actually was giving it a chance. I was like, okay, well, maybe the whole reason for this is she's going to eventually get a comeuppance. We're late into the movie. She has an opportunity to apologize to this man's wife. And she's like, yeah, no. And I'm like, are you flipping kidding me with this? Like this person's terrible. This man's risking his life for her. She can't even apologize to his wife. Like, this is a caricature. This isn't a character. She has no arc. She learns nothing. And then I thought, well, at least at the end, she's going to probably get the coolest death. It's going to be so sad. No. And the movie doesn't understand its audience, because if you make an unlikable character, you need to understand that your audience isn't going to like them, you know? And the movie celebrates her at the end. I'm like, we're not with you. I don't know what you and that's bad tone in your film. We're not with you right now celebrating that she made it. We're like, what did we just watch? The plot is also terrible. It's almost like an improv group. It's like, and then this happened, and then this happened, but there's really no overarching story to speak of. It's defined by its set pieces, but there's not a lot here. I mean, like with any movie, there are parts of it I like. I like how she, you know, because she does this on her actual show. She like raps all the people in the movie's names and stuff. There are parts I liked about it. It had a couple creepy scenes, but overall this was not even a miss. This was torture to watch. Like, not only was it torture to watch, but a friend recommended it to me and I watched the wrong dash cam, because we had 2 movies called dash cam this year.
No.
So I lost like 5 hours of my life on this movie that I'm never going to get back, and that's a bummer.
I think instead of watching Dashcam, you should watch Spree. I don't know if y'all have seen Spree.
Love Spree. I love Spree. Yes.
It's a very superior movie of the same format. Yep. So
and exactly,
save Dashcam, watch Spree.
With that character, I don't think you're supposed to like him, but he is.
You're not. And you don't. That's the thing. Like, it's so weird. But you're not supposed to like him, but he's so charming that you like. Right. You find yourself like, I'm so interested in him. And it was real, because, you know, if someone like that starts doing this on live stream, people are going to join.
Well, and that's what I liked about it, because he's saying like the sub for sub and stuff. I'm like, that's a real person. I've seen these people. This person, Anne Hardy, this is not a real person. A person who behaves like this would have been canceled. They would not be able to have a show. It would have. And
yeah, by the way, Omni, sorry, Dewey is in Spree. That he plays his father, like the main character's father.
Wow. Hey, you know what? Speaking of Spree, you know, only thing that can make this stream spree along any better is if we bring someone else on the panel to even join us. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, coming in to help us close out our stream here for the last hour or so, the one and only, my brother.
So. We haven't even gotten to the best of.
One of my great friends, my brother in the Lethal Collective. Please welcome Knight from the Night Watch Zone. What's up, man?
Hey, bro.
What's up? What's up, guys? What's going
on? Hey, buddy.
Hi, man.
Hey, buddy.
Good to see ya. All right.
What's up?
So we are, we're just to let you know where we're at, man. We're basically talking about our number 2 least favorite movie of last year. And then we go round table style, and then we're going to get into our top 5 favorites for each of us. So
yeah, I was listening in the background.
Oh, okay, cool, man. All right,
good
very
picks,
good.
Good picks.
Rock on. All right, so where are we at now? Are we at Eric now? Right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Number 2, Eric, for your least favorite. Number 2.
My number 2, I picked they, them, they / them, however you want to pronounce it. It was
Stevie, you're laughing at it.
I just
it was yeah, I don't know. It's a very similar to Men in the vein that I felt like it had a message and then try to build the movie around the message. I also feel like this movie would have done much better without the horror element. Like, if they'd have made it a drama, this could have been some really, like, it would have been a better movie in my opinion. But I think I feel like that type of, you know, this type of movie as a drama has been made a lot before, so they wanted to pull in a new audience, so they decided to throw the horror element in there, and I don't think the horror elements were done particularly well. And the ending, the big twist, which I'm not going to say, I'm just going to say this: it was completely copied from like a season of American Horror Story. I won't say which to prevent any sort of possible spoiler, but they did completely just pull the ending, twist reveal from like a series of American Horror Story. So just I wasn't a fan. I was hopeful. Kevin Bacon, they made it look pretty creepy, but I was just let down by it.
Okay, so I got to say real quick, earlier when I talked about how I showed my daughter, we were talking about a trailer that looked amazing and didn't deliver. That was the movie. That's the one I was talking about. And so she's like, I want to see it. I said, look, I will suffer through that pile of whatever you want to call it of a movie if you really want to see it. I said, but well, you'll see where it ranks on my list here shortly. We're getting there. Let me put it that way. So Eric, I sympathize with you, man. I really do. And
we finally got Anna Klumsky back in a movie, and
exactly.
Yeah.
And Kevin Bacon too. Like, really? But
back at camp too.
At camp, that's exactly where it all began. But Bearded, when you said the big twist at the end, I was like, but was it really? I was like, really? No. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
See, that's the thing though. Like that, it was the biggest thing about the movie. I mean,
yeah. But even that, like you say, it was so anticlimactic. Even that. But anyway, I'll share. I have more feelings to share. I'll wait till it gets to my turn because there's more coming. But a good point. Now,
are we gonna like power through nights 5 to 2?
Yep. You're already you're one step ahead of me, man. I'm already thinking that. So Night, let's go ahead and go through your 5, or not your 5, but your 5, 4, 3, real quick, and then we'll stop on 2 to tell us more about it. And if you have a couple honorable mentions too, that's cool.
All right. Okay. For 5, 4, and 3, I've got Jeepers Creepers, I've got Firestarter, and I've got Bed Rest.
Oh, you had Bed Rest too.
Yes.
Dude.
You did too, right?
It was one of my honorable mentions. Yes.
Oh, okay. Man, well, because we watched it for a watch.
Yes, we did.
It was just like you're sitting there and you're hoping, and I was like, really, well, I already said this in the watch party, but I was just really hoping that it was going to deliver some goods, and it had moments, but it had so many missed opportunities and stuff, man. And I wanted it to be good, but it's something that I can't see myself ever watching again. But yeah, and of course, Firestarter. I mean, the original is such a classic. The new one I didn't even finish watching it. It was just so frustrating. Not that it was the worst thing, but I just didn't like it. And that part of that too is because I love the original so much, and I love the book as well. And Jeepers Creepers, we won't even go there. So
I love Jason's comment. Bed Rest Tubi. What a great trip down Amnesia Lane. That's totally forgettable. That's awesome, Jason. I love that. Okay, cool. So Night. Now you want to go ahead and tell us your number 2 now? Is there you want to share your number 2 least favorite of the year?
My number. Let me look at my list. My number 2. And this was all right. This was kind of tricky. This movie was frustrating, and I think Eric had mentioned it, or maybe Ken did, but I got to go with Men.
Yes,
because I think it was a really well made movie. It had really great cinematography. It actually had some really good acting, and I'm a fan of the director, but it just it was just too far out there, and I was hoping for something a little bit different. And of course, that's not the only reason why I had issues with it, but that was part of it. I was kind of hoping for something a little bit different, and the ending was just so bizarre. It was just like, what? I mean, and not in a good way. Like, I like unique and bizarre, but
I wish I would have filmed my reaction to it, because I was like,
me too. Me too. Oh my gosh! If you could have seen Corey Andrews' reaction.
Oh, I wish I could have.
Oh my god. Anyways, it was so frustrating because of that. It's not that it's a badly. It's not. It's a well-made movie, but it's just frustrating. So that's my number 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see what I got for me. My number 2 least favorite. It's been touched. We talked about a couple of times tonight. It's Firestarter, the remake. Just
sorry.
Wow, yeah. I'm sorry. It was so brutal. And it just like you said earlier, everything about the first one that I liked, they just basically dumped on it and messed it all up. I just not impressed. And when you got to the cat scene, that was like, I'm done. I'm absolutely done with this movie. That was it. That was the last straw for me. Uh, so unnecessary. It just didn't have to be in the movie. It's pointless, and it's kind of like the whole movie to me was pointless. And yeah, that ending, just I'm not going to say anymore than it's already been said. It just really disappointing. I didn't have high hopes though, to be honest, but I was still hopeful. And what about those parents, man? Those parents drove me nuts. The parents of the girl, I'm like, come on, y'all, get it together, you know. And to see what they did, and I got to be careful here with spoilers, but to see what they did with the parents and the angle they took with their unique talents, let's say. I don't know. Whatever. I just didn't like the movie. So Firestarter, big letdown. We'll never watch it again. Not the new one. But something that I will put on the screen again over and over every time is when you guys send a super chat. You guys are amazing. Jennifer Armstrong.
I'm going to head to the little Gory's room.
Oh, yeah.
You guys don't mind, right?
You're good. Yep, absolutely. You're good. She's going to hit the gory room. Jennifer Armstrong with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Jennifer. You're so awesome. Says, I'm jumping in late, but I want to say hi and Happy New Year's to the panel. And I can't wait for 2023 and all it brings. We agree 100%. Thank you.
Yes.
Your support is so awesome. And thanks for always being so faithful and a great friend, Jennifer. And you know what? Speaking of 2023, we've been talking about being safe this year. And we've got to make sure that we're on the job. No matter where we're at, we've got to be safe, guys, because, life is short. We don't want to mess up. So here's one gentleman who unfortunately was not safe. So let's learn from his mistakes so we don't make the same.
I just figured I could reach over, make the measurement, and I'd be done with the job. I knew better than to wear my gloves when I was operating a lathe. I knew better than to calibrate while the lathe was running. It was a stupid mistake, and it's one I'll be paying for the rest of my life.
It's terrible.
Man.
Just terrible. Took his arm right off. Wow.
Wow.
Oh, man. Okay. So, back to it. All right, guys. It is our number one. Oh, boy. This is our number one least favorite. This is the one that everyone on the panel just said, you know what? Of all of the bad ones, this was the worst for me. Least favorite for me. For each of us.
You're going to have to get a swear jar.
Oh gosh, Gory. I'll just put a little beep on. I wish I had a little beep sound. Like go Gory, go beep beep. So
it would sound like the stew train. Woo, woo.
Stew. All right. So Ken, we're gonna start with you, man. I'm ready to hear your number one, the one that just irks you beyond all of the year.
Dash cam.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
See, I've always, from what I've read and from what I've understood, Annie is just like that in real life. That was my understanding of her, was that was who she was in real life too. So I think maybe that added to why
she's opinionated like that, and she's like kind of brusque like that, but she's not right wing like that.
Right.
That's what she gets a lot of hate for. She's actually pretty liberal.
Man. And without the payoff at the end, there's literally, to me, no redeeming qualities in this movie. None at all. I was miserable watching it. I was miserable after watching it. And I went into it excited because it was from the same people that did Host. And I really, really liked Host a lot. Like a lot. And obviously, Blumhouse attached their name to it. So I was like, okay, we got the people that did Host. We got Blumhouse. I mean, I'm, excited. And I left with the complete opposite feeling of excitement. So, my least favorite film of the year, dash cam. And I could have added Jeepers Creepers 3 here, but again, there's just no reason to. I don't want people to be like, oh, wow, you don't have Jeepers Creepers 3 on your list. That's like my 1A would be Jeepers Creepers. Like I just
a little low hanging fruit for you.
Yeah, I didn't want to put it on my list. I didn't even want to give it that much recognition. So dash cam for me is number 1.
Okay. All righty. All right, Brandon, what do you got for your number 1, man?
Mine is Firestarter, because I feel like it was like, hey, you know, they got new like mainline horrors coming back, so let's kind of dig in our bag and bring it back and see if someone loves it. And I'm a big Stephen King fan. You know, I read the books, you know, Cat's Eye, you know, I'm huge on that. So I'm not saying that you was okay with the It. If you ever seen like the It, you know, It chapter 2, they don't follow the book if you read the book, but they follow some things, at least just being respectful. But this didn't follow anything. I'm watching it. I'm like, you know, why, man? Like, why would you do this? Why would you do that? Why would you end this way? Why would you make the parents do that? Like, if you watch the original and you look at this, it's like someone's like, you know what? I'm a big fan of Firestarter. I'm gonna try to put together my own Firestarter movie, what I think it should be. And it just plays out like how it played out. Like, that's how, you know, I feel about Firestarter. It's like, what's the point? Why did you make it? You should have just let the classic live up to its value and just left it alone.
Yes. So, well, you're touching on what I mentioned about the parents. That was the thing.
Yeah,
the parents drove me crazy, man.
It was annoying, man.
It was so annoying. And oh my gosh, yeah. What a waste. Totally agree, man. I'm with you, brother.
Yeah.
Corey B, I'm excited now to hear what you're gonna put at that number 1 spot.
I keep forgetting to mention, I wore this shirt specially today because in 2022 we had a new Michael Myers, a new Ghostface, and a new Pinhead movie.
Yes.
Thought it was pretty cool.
You've always got it all together. I always
I try.
Love it.
Hold that sass. Oh my gosh. I actually, you know what? I agree with Ken. I'm going to put more thought into what I'm about to say than they did in this whole entire movie. It's just Jeepers Creepers Reborn. And at first, you know, I am somebody who really tries to be on the side of horror. I love horror, you know, and so everyone's like, this is the worst movie ever. I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. Heard that a lot. You know, a lot of people haven't seen as many bad movies as I have. So I'm like, let's see what you consider to be the worst. Because I've seen Sharkula, you know, and it starts off, Dee Wallace is in it. I adore her. It's a little cheesy, but I'm like, come on, there's a few decent shots in here. You all are freaking out over nothing. Oh God, no. Oh God, no. So they get to Horror Hound, right? I've never been to a Horror Hound, but this was the worst advertisement for your convention ever. I will never go to Horror Hound.
Dang.
I understand we're in the pandemic, but they've got like 5 people milling around what looks like a carnival that looks empty. It looks like we're like at 1:00 at night. This is not promoting your convention very well, because I've been to conventions and they're usually pretty packed. So it looked terrible on that front, just production design. Then you get into this house. The walls in the house are green screen. Honey,
oh no.
It's so easy to find a house. Throw a rock and you'll hit one. You can't get the walls in your house correct. They go outside. It looks like a cutscene from a video game and not a good one, like one from the early 2000s. My little heart is breaking here. I wanted to pull for this movie. There was a cosplay scene. The girl ends up settling on Jennifer's body. I'm like, I'm rooting for you. Come on, give it. No, same girl at the climax. She's all ready to like fire off her killing blow. How you like them peepers? The level of cringe was backbreaking. I had to be hospitalized for many nights afterwards. And that is why Jeepers Creepers is the worst. It's lazy. It doesn't need to exist. I mean, you know what really sucks about this is I think the idea of the creeper is kind of cool, but and I'm all for people who love it, and I understand the people who don't want to see it. You know, it came out of the mind of somebody who's really gross. And if you don't want to spend time in that person's world, I totally understand. So I thought it was cool that somebody else was giving this a shot, and we're not giving money to that person.
Yeah.
They have just killed this franchise, which sucks because I think whenever we have a sequel to a franchise, they don't understand the amount of what they have to deliver, because you can kill a franchise really easily, and that means we'll never see that character again, or at least not for a really long time. So for Jeepers Creepers fans, I'm really sorry, you were done dirty.
Yeah, I mean, ask any Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th fan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here we are, still.
That's right.
With nothing on the horizon for Nightmare. I mean, it's still nothing in the works. At least
just
we got
hopes and dreams. That's
it.
all we got.
That's all we have,
Tell
man.
you guys, Richard Brake would be a great Freddy.
Richard Brake is amazing. Like
Also, he was good in The Munsters, right? As the kind of Nosferatu guy. I thought he was great.
He was. Sorry, yeah.
All right, guys. We're gonna keep moving here. Eric, let's hear your number one least favorite horror movie of the year.
You've already heard my number one. It's Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Everything Gory just said 100% correct. Here's the thing, and several people said it earlier. If you don't have the budget, and this, I know it wasn't technically budget for this particular portion, but what you said about Horror Hound, absolutely true. If it's in the middle of a pandemic, don't write a scene or a piece where you have to be in what should be a packed area. Just don't do it. Like, it doesn't make sense. So that portion, and something about it that I surprisingly no one's touched on it yet. The special effects for the creeper himself, like the mask, the costume was so obviously like rubber. Like at points you can literally see it like bouncing as he stops, or like as he gets hit, it like flings because it's like cheap rubber or something. So it around that.
Yeah, I agree with what you said. I think if they were looking at this, they're like, balls. There's a pandemic. We cannot recreate a convention. We can't have people this close together. Rewrite it. Have the couple out camping, and then they run across a group of people who are out there. You could have easily rewritten that. But if Horror Hound pushed for it, it was a big mistake because it really did not make their convention look good. I wouldn't want my name attached to this movie at all.
No. And so what you said about the franchise, I think after part 2, after Jeepers Creepers 2, I think the Creeper was set up as like a very worthy entry into like horror history. Like it was and the ending to that second one where they go into the bar. Spoilers for the second one, which has been out for like I think over a decade at this point. Like when they go into the barn and like the people are like, what, and the Creeper's strung up on the wall. And the dude's sitting there with the gun, and they're like, what are you waiting on? He goes, I forget how many days he said, but like give or take. You're like, that is an amazing ending because he's coming back. The dude's ready. He's still going to get away. Like at that point, I was like, the Creeper is awesome. It's going to be a great franchise. Number 3 declined greatly in quality, but I was still into it. And then we got Reborn, and I'm like, it's deceased. You have taken it out. We're done.
Well said.
Well, you know what? It's funny because all this talk about how wretched this movie is, it's making me want to host a watch party. And I've never seen it. Like, let's just watch this thing together.
Do you also want to host a watch party of the cursed ring tape? Do you just not like other human beings?
The only way you should watch this movie is if your neighbor is watching it and you're watching it through their room with binoculars. Like, that's the only way you should watch.
No, man.
Thank you, Cody Leach, for that.
Hey, let me be clear.
I would actually love to totally just crap on this movie, but you have to. That's what I'm saying.
It's like, I think, like, I would never pay it. I'm not going to pay to rent it, but if it's like free streaming, I'm tempted to actually do it as some weird middle of the week of the night of the week stream.
Real quick,
I like that you just said that you wouldn't pay to rent it. That's important to remember with any movie. Your dollar is your vote. So even if you're not crazy about it, if you want to see more of a certain type of movie, original horror, a certain franchise, pay for it. And if you don't want more of something, do not give it your money at all. Don't give it your time. Don't give it your money, because then the studios will stop making that product.
I was just gonna say, Craven, you said it. Even if it's free streaming, it's still too expensive because your time is invaluable, my friend.
That's a good point too, my friend. You're right. That's a good point.
But it's not free. But it's content, and people will watch you cringe.
Hey, first time reaction. I've never seen.
You haven't seen it?
No, I never seen it. No,
It's
my
not
first
really
time. Yeah.
I think I don't know. You just need. It's not.
We might
free
have
streaming.
Craven dropping F-bombs if we live stream this.
No. Hey, real quick, Marcus says, "Hey, Marcus, what's up, brother?" Says his worst was bodies. I get the twist, but not for me. Fair enough, man. Listen, you are on a stick around. You definitely are in the right place. All right, Night. Now, this is one I'm really excited to hear because you and I haven't talked about this offline or anything. So,
No.
what is your number one least favorite of the year? Let's see if I'm going to get it right or not.
It's got to be they them.
Yep, I got it right.
It's got to be, man.
Yes.
We did a watch party for it.
Yep.
And it had moments. It had good moments. It really did. But the bad moments trumped it hardcore.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the perfect setting. You had, a decent cast. You had Kevin Bacon. That's really all you need anyways. And the opening of it was kind of interesting. If you remember the opening, that kill, and we were kind of invested on the watch party. We were live. And then it just went downhill. It never recovered. And I could just tell that none of us really liked it because afterwards it was almost like we were reaching for comments and stuff.
And it's frustrating because this movie was supposed to have trans characters, LGBTQ plus characters being the heroes, not the characters who get killed off, not the characters who are the villains.
That's right.
And I feel like even the LGBTQ plus community was like, what? That was really cringe.
Right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It was rough. It was super rough.
Well, and part of it too is it was frustrating because it could have been at least decent or good, maybe even great, and we had pretty high hopes for it, and it just didn't reach those levels for me at all,
No.
So
100%, man. I thought that might be where you were going, but I wasn't 100% sure, but I thought it was. So I guess for me, my least favorite of the year was they, them as well. Yep. Sorry, guys. Bottom of the barrel. I just can't. Just weak. Just bottom of the barrel, man. It was, Kevin Bacon. I love Kevin Bacon, but man, he couldn't even carry that movie. That thing. It just, there's too many holes. Just poor writing, execution. I just cringe moments throughout this movie that just like
burst into a Pink song for no reason and had choreography.
Oh no, gory.
Right.
No,
Listen,
that scene just, I couldn't believe my eyes.
I just want to say that if you guys ever feel like you're less than perfect.
Stop it.
Come on, Ken. Bring it. Come on, man. Bring it. Wow. Yeah. I won't even waste any more time on that movie. It's rough, guys. So, all right, now things are going to get a turn.
The good stuff.
The good stuff. A whole different direction. So as it feels like it weights off our shoulders getting through those lists. Those were rough, but now we're going to get to the stuff that's like, and this is what I'm talking about. So we're going to start here with honorable mentions, and we're going to go with 2 honorable mentions again. And for the sake of time, we'll kind of streamline the pace a little bit more rapid fire than we did the first round. But nonetheless, let's get to them. So, Night, why don't we start with you? We're going to go counterclockwise for your 2 honorable mentions of most favorite for last year.
Okay, my 2 honorable mentions, and of course this list could go back and forth, but I'm gonna go with The Black Phone and Nope.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed both of them, and there was a time when I had them kind of higher up on my list per se. But for right now, those will be my honorable mentions. Especially Nope.
Okay.
Nope was a lot of fun. But I've shifted my ideas a little bit. So
Nice. Ooh, I can't wait to hear your top 5. That's going to be great. Okay. All right, Eric, how about you, man? What are your 2 outside of your top 5 on your list?
I got Nope and I got Smile. Both of them original, which I love to see. Nope. I mean, everything Jordan Peele touches turns to gold. So, Smile, I really, really loved. I just felt it copied another movie a little too closely. And that's why it didn't make top 5 for me.
Yep, I understand. Okay, good. All right, Gory B, what are your 2?
My 2 would be Prey, which I think is the best Predator movie we've had since the first one. Incredible, really surprising. And Smile, it was a really fun roller coaster. I kind of expected like Truth or Dare. This was really surprising. This was really fun.
Absolutely, 100% agree. Brandon, how about you, man?
So I'm going to have to go Hellraiser.
Okay.
And Prey. It just with Hellraiser, it was not what I saw what they were trying to do. I understand trying, but it did not just hit the point. And with Prey, it was cool. I don't hate it. Would I watch it again? No. But it was cool. I enjoyed it. It was a movie that you can watch and enjoy it for one night, get you some popcorn. I just can't watch it again. It's just, how I feel about them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, totally. I actually agree with you on Prey on that one. Yeah, I don't plan to ever watch it again.
If you haven't seen it though, definitely check it out because I do think it's really good.
It's definitely worth watching for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ken, how about you, man? What are your 2 honorables?
Mine are going to be Nope and a big middle finger to the rest of you. Pray for the devil.
What? I haven't seen it yet, so I can't say nothing, but that's surprising.
I really liked Nope a lot. I think that Stephen Yeun's character in Nope is one of the most tragic stories we've had in a horror movie in a very long time.
I wish he had a bigger part in that.
Me too. That's why the movie is not. It's an honorable mention and not in the top 5 because
he's the most interesting character.
And when you have Keke Palmer and you have Daniel Kaluuya, who are 2 absolutely phenomenal, amazing actors, and Stephen Yeun comes in and does what he does, impressive, super impressive. So I wish we could have got more of him. And with Pray for the Devil, I really genuinely enjoyed the twist in the movie. I think that the twist was actually pretty well done. I mean, it's pretty much a beat for beat type of exorcism movie, but that's what I love. Those are my favorite. That's my favorite subgenre of horror. So, I genuinely liked the idea of some of the twists that came along with the movie. It wasn't just your straight, there's a demon, let's exorcise it, we're done. Or we failed, we're done. They had some nice little twists that went along with it. I like the scene outside of the church when you went to the apartment building. I thought that scene was really well done, and it filled me with a lot of fear, even though that was probably the strongest ceiling fan I've ever seen in my entire life. And there's just a lot of the movie that as I'm watching it, I'm going, yeah, okay, I dig it. I really dig it. And usually, like I said, exorcism is the scariest type of movie to me. Growing up very, very Christian, that's something that's always very much scared me. So that's why I'm going to go with that one, just because of my own personal beliefs and why those movies scare me as bad as they do. So those are my 2 honorable mentions.
Man, all right, good stuff. Well, for my 2 honorable mentions for my most favorite, one of them is going to be Orphan First Kill, which I really liked it, and that was
fun.
It was
Yeah,
fun,
it was.
and you got a double dose of fun, and you know what I'm talking about with the curveball. That's all I'm going to say.
I didn't think they were going to top that twist. I actually like the twist even better in part 2. I actually think I like First Kill better than the first one.
I think I do too. Honestly, I thinking about this a lot because you get the double barrel thing there, and I think that was awesome. So I really enjoyed it, and so that's one of mine. And my other one is one that I have not heard anyone talk about, and actually no one may not be quite aware of very much. It's a foreign film. And I normally don't watch hashtag only, not hashtag, subtitles only, but I did on this one because my sister really wanted to watch it. I said, I'll watch it with you. And I really enjoyed it thoroughly. It's called Hatching. And I don't know if you're familiar with this movie, but it's about, I'll just give you some brief synopsis about. Yes, it is. Very weird. Very weird. But this girl finds an egg in the woods, like a bird egg, what have you. I'm not going to say anything. She takes it home and takes care of it, and it hatches eventually. And that's all I'm going to say.
That is the craziest synopsis for the movie you could possibly give, with leaving so much open to what's going to happen.
We should play a game sometime where we just give one sentence synopsises to famous horror movies.
Oh yeah, we did that on one of Steven's streams before.
Oh, fun!
Orphan First Kill. You were talking about that. I realized how old I am when I was watching Orphan First Kill, because I was like, oh my gosh, these kids at this party are listening to the Juliana Theory. I love that band. I listened to them too, and I was like, oh man, this takes place 20 years ago. I am old. I forgot this was a prequel. Dang it, I'm old.
Oh, I feel you, brother. Let me tell you, it happens to me all the time. So yeah, I highly recommend Hatching. If you have not seen it or heard of it, put it on your list. Give it a watch. Yeah.
Good movie.
All right. So let's see. So Knight, let's go ahead and start with your 5th most favorite of the year.
All right. Here we go.
All right.
I got to go with Halloween Ends.
Okay.
It made it, bro. It made it, and I'm happy. I don't know if Brandon's happy about it or not, but I'm happy, man.
It's hard night, man. I understand.
Because I've been letting it absorb, and I've watched this movie. I don't even know how many times now, just trying to wrap my head around it. And although there's some things that were kind of interesting choices, I enjoyed it. Every time I watch it, I enjoy it, and I'm enjoying it a little bit more each time. So I put it on my list, number 5. There it is.
I have to admit that poster is killer. My favorite of the.
But it's also a big old catfish, because that's not the movie you got.
I know, Eric. Now, Eric, calm down over there. Now I'm trying to talk about this poster. Oh, you're right. You're 100% right. But I still think it looks great.
It is.
So sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, it was the end of the story that they started, with 2018, which was obviously following 78. So when I look at it from that point of view, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, man. And there were a lot of things in that movie that were done well, and the music was great. I mean, there's a lot, and the acting was great. I mean, there's a lot of really good things in that movie.
Yeah,
there are.
Yeah,
there really are.
I agree.
All right, now Eric, let's get to you, my friend. What's your 5th ranked favorite movie?
Just really quick before I do that, I want to say, Knight, I agree, man. I love the movie. I love it every time I watch it. I love it more and more, and I thought it was great. I still had to put it on my disappointments list because I didn't think it did what it was supposed to. Anyways, neither here nor there. My number 5 is actually Scream 5. Okay. And I said it in my video, my top 5 video that I put out, but I'll say it again. I think a lot of people like it less and less upon more rewatches and comparing it to the previous sequels and stuff. It had been like 11 years, and I got to go back to the theater and watch a new Scream movie. And it's the same for Halloween. It's the same for any of the big franchises. I got to do that, and that it evoked a feeling that you can't get that kind of excitement for just like a streaming show or like something straight to Netflix. So. Going to see Ghostface on the big screen, to me, I had to. It was definitely going to crack my top 5, no matter what.
Yep. Okay, man. All right, Gory B, what's your number 5?
I will say there is a reason why Knight is my horror brother. I loved Halloween Ends. I know, cancel me, hate me, whatever. I don't care. This movie had the balls to do something that most franchise movies don't. If you look at the 90s, they would try to figure out some algorithm on how to make money, give it more kills, and they wouldn't get it. Halloween Ends was about telling you a good story. They didn't care if it made you happy. They wanted to tell a good story, and they did that. And I also like that we finally had a movie that really tackled something that's been in this franchise all along, that Michael Myers isn't really the evil here. Michael is a vessel for something else. It's been potentially passed on to Jamie at one point and Danny at one point in part 6. This movie was basically saying, well, to back up a little bit, a lot of people were like, well, where's the climax with Michael Myers? Guys, you got that in Halloween Kills. All right. You wanted Michael Myers kicking a bunch of ass. It's in Halloween Kills, right? It's there. This movie is the epilogue. What happens afterwards? Are we safe? If Michael Myers is old and dead, are we safe? We're not safe, because there is an evil in Haddonfield that infected Michael that can infect anybody else. And it may turn up even in your town. And so this epilogue, it leaves us with a sense of fear that even if Michael's gone, we're never safe. It had a lot to say about human nature. It had a lot to say about like the inherent evil in people. I thought it was a bold move. They took a big swing, and I feel like they knocked it out of the park. This was a great end to a great trilogy.
Preach.
Yeah.
I also think even if this didn't entertain you, the people who I've seen giving it like half a star in Letterboxd, that breaks my heart. Because even if it didn't entertain you, this movie is gorgeous to look at. It had a great soundtrack. It had great performances. Guys, look at the bigger picture. Even if it didn't entertain you, remember that's one piece of the pie here. There's a lot to appreciate about this film, and I think this movie's going to get a reevaluation eventually, like how Halloween
Season of the Witch. Yep, it's going to be like Season of the Witch. I can almost guarantee.
I feel the same way.
I can't wait. I
don't think it will though, because like Season of the Witch didn't advertise itself as a Michael Myers movie. That's the biggest thing this thing has going against it.
Right, but Season of the Witch didn't tell people that it wasn't a Michael Myers movie though.
Where I disagree with Season of the Witch and Halloween Ends being compared is Season of the Witch is good. So that's just something.
What you're saying, Gory, about it being an epilogue is a perfect way to look at it. But what I'm saying is like with advertising, like Season of the Witch never put Michael on a poster.
For a lot of movies, I will say, the marketing did you dirty. And I do think the marketing did people dirty in this. But you gotta, in 10 years' time, no one's gonna know what the marketing even was. They're just gonna be like, why didn't people like this movie?
Until
they're still gonna see the cover art.
Jennifer's Body is a great one to bring up. The marketing for that was terrible. It was marketed towards men. It's a movie about female friendships. It was marketed poorly, and so initially everyone hated it. And then 10 years later, when everyone's forgotten the marketing, they're like, "This movie is really good." Yeah. What were people thinking 10 years ago? That's what's going to happen with Halloween Ends. When we get to a place where no one remembers the poster or the trailers, they're just gonna be like, "This movie's really good."
Where I'm going to disagree on Jennifer's Body and Halloween Ends is Jennifer's Body is a good movie.
Well, here's the thing though. Even and this is the last thing I'll say on it. Even if people don't pay attention to marketing, once they come from Halloween Kills and you end with Michael being this unstoppable killing force who, with every kill, he grows stronger and stronger, and then you start Halloween Ends with him being dead in a dungeon, getting his booty kicked by a kid who gets his butt kicked.
That last fight kicked his ass, and he is an old man. I also think if you guys need more, the novelization was really good and builds in some of those life. He is an old man, and I think he gave us his last oomph he had in that final fight.
That's exactly what I was saying on my stream the other day. The way I look at it is Halloween Kills. You got to remember, in this particular trilogy, right? 2018, he gets out of Smith's Grove. He had been locked up for 40 years. And everything they had in him, all the rage, all the anger, all the evil, whatever, he just unleashed, in 2018 and kills to get to the house.
Like in a video game, when you save it for your special move. That's what he did.
Right.
And he's been so disconnected from people. I also feel like his house gives him power. They demolished his house. he hasn't had a good kill in a long time. When he has a kill in this movie, it's like he almost kind of powers up. Another thing I want to point out, something Danny pointed out, he has more screen time in this movie than he does in the original Halloween. So everyone crying that Michael Myers wasn't in this movie, he's in this movie more than the original.
That is true.
What
They
I
just
wanna
didn't
say,
utilize it.
the difference between Halloween 78 and Halloween Ends is
I'm done.
The rule of three. The
Hey,
rule of
Ken,
three.
Ken, you
the
gotta
rule
do
of three, baby.
you
I
gotta
had to
you
go
gotta
there.
you gotta do that as a short, man. That's awesome. I love it.
And to be honest with you,
Remember when we used to be friends,
totally-
Ken, and it was
I
like a
don't-
really good time?
I don't think Halloween Ends is a bad movie. I was disappointed because of how much I built it up in my brain to finally see this epic conclusion.
Right.
Right.
If Halloween Ends would have been the middle chapter and Kills would have been the ending, I think I could have accepted it a little easier. Or if we could have been a little more of Corey throughout 18 and Kills to build his character
Right.
up. I think because I'll tell you this.
I
Like,
wish he was in the first two. That's
Yeah,
one
the
thing. I
first
did.
15 minutes of Halloween Ends had me ready to go. I was like, this is amazing. This is great. I got to see this kid die. I'm
That
thinking
kid
about
got
all the money
yeeted,
his
dude.
parents are saving. Like, no more school supplies. You ain't saving for college no more. Like, I feel grateful for these. They're so lucky. And then the rest happened. So I was
Y'all,
let down, but it's not a bad movie.
It's not, and I actually have a way to fix it. We'll talk about it later.
All right.
We need
Well,
to do
I'll
a
tell you
whole
what.
stream talking about this, just arguing it sometime.
Oh, we could do a whole Halloween Ends stream. But you know
Yeah, we
what? Here, I think what we should do in memoriam of Halloween Ends and the trilogy ending and all these comparisons to Season of the Witch, I think it's only fitting that we all sing a couple of rounds of Happy Halloween, the Silver Shamrock song. And so I think we need to do that. So everyone in the live chat, get ready to sing with us. Everyone here, let's make sure and get our voices nice and tuned and ready to go.
That's not happening.
Gory, you can do it. I think we need to do it, guys. What do you say? We up? Are we good? What do you think?
Will we have
Brandon,
any backing
always-
instruments?
Hey, look,
Are
can
you
I say
doing
something?
team building exercises so we don't fight?
Hey, look, every time Brandon's on a stream, we always do the Happy Halloween song.
Every night, I swear, it was like literally in my head, like Craven, you do it on purpose, don't you? You really do it on purpose. He do it on. He does it on purpose, man. He don't
Like
know.
Silver Shamrock mess.
You know,
Oh.
it's time to do it, man. We got to do this, guys. So we'll do two verses. Oh, there you go, Ken. Halloween
Wow.
3. It's a good
You know what?
movie.
Halloween Ends is also technically a Halloween 3.
There we go.
Okay, now let's stop that. Don't you ever do that again, Corey.
Technically, it's Halloween 4 because Halloween the original comes into play. So I mean, technically, it's a 4.
It's a new trilogy.
Oh my gosh. All right. So here we go, guys. I'm going to lead us
later.
in. We're going to do two verses and a couple of choruses. And here's the most important part. After the very last chorus, we've got to do the head. Duncan, Duncan, Duncan. I need everybody Duncan, Duncan, Duncan. Yeah. That's how we're going to end it. That's our big finale. All right. So it's been a little while. So guys in the chat, everyone get ready. I hope you all sing it out very loud. Val's ready to go. Loud and proud. Here we go. And I will lead us in. Don't worry about the delay. Just go with it. All right. Let her rip. It's going to be beautiful. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. Happy Halloween.
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 Happy
Halloween. Silver Shamrock.
Happy
Happy Halloween. Halloween.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Silver
Silver
Here we
Shamrock.
go. Duncan, Duncan,
Happy, happy.
This sounds like all 6 drunk uncles trying to sing happy birthday to their nephew at the party.
Oh,
That was
man.
fun. Come on, man. That was fun.
Silver Shamrock.
Silver Shamrock. Love it.
That's on the internet forever now, just so y'all know.
Yes, it
Yes.
is. Heck, I'll be clipping it out as a short for tomorrow.
That's why I can never run for president now, because they're going to show stuff like this. Like, this is the drunk uncle you want running for president. With me going,
Your children are going to watch these streams someday.
yeah, I know.
Oh, man.
This is awesome, guys. This is so much fun. Okay. Thank y'all for indulging me, panel. Y'all are good sports. I appreciate it. That was fun.
We love you. We're sorry we were fighting.
You're awesome. Y'all, it's all good.
We're not
Papa
really
Bear,
sorry.
Papa Bear took care of it. No, we're good. All right, Brandon, I'm excited, my friend. Let's hear it, man. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is Barbarian.
Okay. Yeah.
So I had a lot of friends telling me, like, you got to check it out. You got Bill Skarsgård, and it's very different. So I'm going there with a certain, thought on my head. Like, okay, I didn't know. I'm not going to say what it is. I'm not going to spoil anything. But in the trailer, it's weird. The trailer doesn't show what it's about. It does a good job at hiding what it's about until you watch.
Great marketing.
Yeah, and I love it. Justin Long, man, I loved his character. He had me convinced. I'm telling you, he had me convinced, man, like seriously. But it just wasn't what people hyped. I think people hyped me up. They gassed me up to think this. They're like, bro, this might be movie of the year, man. I'm telling you.
That's what happened to me with Scream 5, dude. I get it. The hype can really kill it.
It can.
Yeah,
that's what happened to me with Terrifier 2.
Yeah, I got gassed up, man, with Barbarian. It just wasn't what I thought it was, but you got to respect it because they nailed it. They executed a lot of points, and the story was so good, So it's number 5 for me. I enjoyed it.
Nice.
I think that's something for this year where I'm going to try to do because the hype really does kill stuff. And so I'm going to try for the things I'm looking forward to see them as soon as possible, like the day it opens, so that it doesn't build up,
Yeah.
Because, for me, it was Scream 5 last year. And just also because I love Scream so much. That was it. But, now Scream 6, I've got lower expectations. So hopefully I'm going to just love it.
Yeah. It's honestly the smartest thing to do is just to go into all of these movies.
You have 69 likes.
Lower expectations. It's true. Man, I got my orders all messed up now. Hold on.
Sorry.
No, you're all right, Ken. I'm just gotta get this fixed right. Otherwise,
I don't even know how that happened.
It's no big.
What'd you do?
It's all good.
It's haunted.
You're talking exorcisms. Now you done messed the whole thing up.
I think it was Michael Myers coming back. He was.
That's right.
Probably.
I thought so too,
saying.
and then some scrawny little white kid walked in crying about his girlfriend. I don't know.
He wasn't scrawny.
Oh gosh. All right. Now speaking of Ken, excuse me. Speaking of Ken, let's talk about your number 5 most favorite.
My number 5 favorite horror film of the year. They do not see me as a threat, and that's what makes me more dangerous. Prey.
Good one.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that keeps this movie so low is I couldn't get the cinema experience with it. I felt like this movie would be a great cinema experience, and something that I love and respect about this movie. I have a very good friend, Joey Clift, who is native, and the extensive research that this team did to make sure that everything they did was completely genuine to the native culture rises this. They didn't just have one person going, "Ooh, that's offensive. Don't say that." Like, they actually had this movie overdubbed in the native language that they spoke.
And they cast native actors.
Native actors. They had a bunch of people that were native behind the scenes.
Right.
And I had so much fun with this movie. The ingenuity of our lead character, Amber Midthunder. Some of I would love in my room to have a painting of the shot of her and the lion up in the tree when they're in that scene. Like, that was so beautiful. And I will say this is my favorite Predator film, even more than the original. And I love the original. I love me some man muscle high fives. Like, I'm in for it. But this movie was it was brilliant. I love the look of the Predator. I love how they scaled back the Predator design to not have it so mechanic. So it looked like it was, an older type, prequel type Predator. I really, really had a very good time with it. It just bummed me out that I had to sit and watch it on an iPad in my bedroom. Like, that's the only part of the movie that really bummed me out. So
I also want to say this movie got a lot of hate this year, which I thought was really undeserved. The popular hate I heard was that she's a Mary Sue. Her own tribe doesn't think she can be a hunter. Her tribe wants her to be a medicine woman. She messes up, and then she has to go out on her own with only her dog. The Predator, it's called Prey because the Predator thinks she's completely harmless and isn't even going to give her the honor of treating her like an equal. And she completely turns that all on its head because she's smart.
Exactly. She doesn't use brute force. She doesn't have an army full of guns. She has to use what she has at her disposal, and it's extremely intelligent. And she's somebody that you can genuinely sit there and root for. Like, you're rooting for her to win this battle because exactly what you said. She is the underdog, and she says it herself. You know, they don't take me serious. They don't see me as a threat, and that's what makes me more dangerous. And I very, very much enjoyed the movie from beginning to end. I just wish I could have had that big theatrical experience with this movie. And I wish I could get a physical media release of this movie. That's Disney is a bunch of buttholes. So
I want a new box set release of the Predator series with it in it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We just did that 4K set, so release another one with this one.
Yep. Number 5 for me, Prey. I think it was way too good and impressed me way too much for me not to have it on the list.
Nice.
And also they tied it to Predator 2, which I think is really unsung.
They did.
With the gun. Yeah, Danny Glover.
Dude, real quick. I'm telling you right now, when he said, if it bleeds, we can kill it, I was in my motel room like, yes, he said it. I know that line.
I don't have time to bleed.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Got time to bleed. All right, my number 5 is going to be Nope. Actually, it broke my top 5 this year, or for last year. I really enjoyed it. Again, I have mad respect for Jordan Peele. He's done 3 films that I think are all very cerebral. They're very layered. They're smart movies. They're thinking movies, but they're not just heady movies. Like some movies you see, they're trying to be too smart, and you're like, oh, whatever. It's not like that. They're grounded at the same time, and I really enjoyed Nope. I thought it was tragic and entertaining all at the same time, and so many themes to go through in that movie. And I watched it for the first time with Knight, and it was. I remember us talking about it, and just there's so many. We've done so many watch parties, like all these movies we've seen together. It's crazy. But I remember just thinking when I got done with it, wow, I need to see it again, and I haven't gone back to it yet, but I want to. So
I've seen it a couple times. It gets better.
That's why I have a feeling that's what's going to happen with that movie.
Yep.
Initially, I was disappointed with the creature design, but I didn't care about it the second time because I knew it was coming. What I will say about Jordan Peele that I love, we talked about this with Men, how Men kind of talks down to you. Jordan Peele never talks down to his audience.
Exactly. That's the thing about his movies that I really appreciate is that he can share his perspective and his commentary, but he doesn't detract from the movie. It incorporates it in a subtle way where you can walk out of the movie and still enjoy the movie and not feel like you were being beat over the head with someone's agenda. And that's what I love about all 3 of his movies. And I encourage him to take 5 more years to make a movie. Don't get into a rush to crane out, because his movies are worth the wait. They really are. Eric, comment on that, on Nope?
Yeah, really, really quick. 2 things. One, I'm pretty sure I said this in my video too, but like Nope is a movie that I found every time you watch it, you'll kind of pick up on something new. Like it never stops giving. And it literally, and I said in my review, if I had watched it 3 or 4 more times, it might have left honorable mentions and been top 5. But my second thing, is it okay to like, is it past the time frame where we can talk about a possible Nope spoiler? Because I've got a question for you all.
I mean, I think we're safe now at this point. It's been out for quite a while.
It's on physical media. That's my rule. If it's out on physical media.
Okay. So, but if you're in the chat and you haven't seen Nope, this is a potential spoiler. Okay, so I was watching a YouTube, some guy who reviews movies. And I really dig his reviews, but he was of the opinion that when OJ shows up at the end, like, how she sees him?
Yeah.
That's like a hallucination or something, that he actually died. And I'm like, what? Like that? I didn't get any indication that he died.
I've read that. No. There's also the interpretation that he's a ghost. I didn't get that at all because to me, it was a callback to earlier when she was saying she would watch him train her horse through the window, but he always kept an eye on her. He always looked back at her. Mm-hmm. And he did it later on, and he's doing it at the end, just kind of showing that he came through again. He's always kept an eye on her. You know, that's what I thought.
And it's also
okay, so yeah,
and also
so no
it's
one else
also an
thinks he's
homage
that.
to westerns too,
I don't
man,
think so.
because that was the other thing that Jordan Peele also wanted to do too is have, you know, that flavor of a western, you know, that hero that survives at the end. You don't expect it, and then as the dust settles, there he is, you know.
John Wayne.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You know what else is great about that? Especially like, you know, in past decades, a lot of movies have always pushed like there's always got to be a romantic thing. And this was a great story between a brother and a sister, which was really cool. I thought it was really a cool relationship. I also liked that, you know, a lot of people have read, we talked about this on my autism and horror stream. OJ is having autism, but it's not like, you know, it's not the plot. He's just treated as a normal character. And a lot of people read Emerald as having ADD, but it shows that they can be these cool, heroic characters. So, you know, it's good representation in a lot of different ways.
All right. So, guys, here's what we're going to do for these next 4. We're going to go really kind of rapid fire. I'm going to ask that we all let's state our movie, maybe give 1 or 2 quick sentences, and we're just going to go really quickly. I know we're going way over on time.
I'm sorry.
No, it's nothing to apologize for. It's a beautiful thing. I feel bad with keeping you guys here so late. So we'll just kind of pick the pace up a little bit to finish out, but definitely share your thoughts. We'll just move quicker. So Ken, we'll start with you again let's go ahead and go with number 4.
A new movie that just came out. It's called The Harbinger. And what I'll say about this movie is it scared me. It takes a lot for me to get genuinely scared. The thought of dying doesn't scare me, but the thought of a creature out there that can completely erase the fact that you've ever been here, terrifying.
Wow, that sounds cool.
Wow.
And to watch it play out, it's called The Harbinger. The creature looks like a what are those called? The doctors, from back in the day.
Plague master.
The plague monsters. And it can completely erase you rather than kill you. You were never ever here in the first place.
Dang.
That's
as
crazy.
a father, as a husband, it scared me. A lot of this movie genuinely put fear in my chest. So it went from me have never heard of it to being number 4 on my list. So The Harbinger 2022.
That's impressive. Okay, that's one I need to put on my list.
What is that on, Ken? Is that on something?
I think it's on Amazon Prime now. We were lucky enough to get a screener for it.
You can rent it on Amazon Prime. I just added it to my watch list on Letterboxd, but you can definitely rent it on Vudu, Google Play, and
Make
Amazon.
sure that it's because there's 2 different Harbingers that came out this year. It's not the one with Madeline McGraw from The Black Phone. This
is one by Andy Mitten.
Yes.
Character named Monique in it.
Yep. That's the one you're going to want to watch.
That sounds
really,
awesome.
Really good.
Adding that to my list.
Great.
Wow, they had made 2 Harbingers and 2 dash cams last year. Like, come on, guys. Come on.
Where's the originality?
Right.
Pay attention to what else is being made out there. There's something else with the same title. Rename it.
Before we get to Brandon's pick for number 4, we got a super chat's come in from Troy. What's up, Troy? Thank you for your $5 super chat. It says Naru was great, not a Mary Sue. To me, Tab was Tabe, thank you, was a much better written character. So underrated. Sorry, OG still the best. Sexual Tyrannosaurus unite. Wow. Okay. So, all right, Troy. Well, thank you for sharing your feedback on Prey. Appreciate that. All right. So let's see here. Let's go ahead now and move to Brandon with number 4. Right? Number 4.
Yeah.
Are we getting another potty break soon?
What's that?
Are we getting another potty break soon?
Anytime you need it. Yep. Anytime.
But I don't want to leave when Brandon's talking. I'll wait for Brandon.
It's hard. You gotta go. You gotta go.
All right. I'll be right back.
All right.
Okay.
Mine is Terrifier too.
Gotcha.
I'm a huge fan of David Howard Thornton and Art the Clown. I feel like he's like an upcoming horror icon. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of blood. I mean, I know it sounds weird, like, bro, you like horror. What? I'm just not big into like bones cracking and not showing the flesh. I'm just not big into that. But I do love art. And I loved how they kind of upped him. They turned the volume up on him and kind of made him a little different and cooler. So for me, number 4 is Terrifier too. I enjoyed it.
If you could
when you said Terrifier 2
off of that movie, I would agree with you. It was just way too long for me.
Oh yeah, and it was long. It was like, okay, it was to the point like it was when you thought it was supposed to end. It's like, nope, chapter 3. We're trying to keep going.
Right.
Oh, I've heard something about Terrifier 2 as well. I was a little confused with some of the plot points. And I know the director who said all will be revealed in the third one, but he did spoil that he explained a lot of them in the director's commentary. So I actually want to really grab that Blu-ray and check it out.
So I'm really surprised, Brandon, because like as soon as you said Terrifier 2, I'm like, wait, didn't like 5 minutes ago you say you don't like blood? Because that's all Terrifier 2 is.
It's like you gotta like it because of David Howard Thornton and how he executed art. He had me creeped out to a point. I'm like, I don't even want to take the trash out.
I am terrified of mime, so that movie scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, it's I
mean, the shoe.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Wow. That's right, Knight. Wow. I love it. That was perfect time execution, man. Right on the money. Right on the dime. Okay, Gory B, number 3.
My number 4 was actually a big surprise to me. Again, like I've said this before, the beginning of the year kind of was a lot of kind of disappointments. X was another one that everyone loved. I really liked it. I didn't love it like everyone else. The old lady thing just didn't work for me. I was like, you guys can take her. And I also thought the makeup I didn't really like the makeup on her. It wasn't very believable. But then Pearl, oh boy. I thought Pearl was amazing. It's like equal parts Wizard of Oz meets like kind of a serial killer thing. And she's such an interesting character. And I love how it was made, how they had some extra time, some extra money. They got a little more money. That's just like showing like a passion for storytelling and making movies. Mia Goth, I mean, I don't think she'll get it because the Oscars suck, but she deserves an Oscar for her work in X and Pearl this year.
Yeah.
So I thought Pearl was amazing.
Her monologue at the end of Pearl deserves an Oscar alone. That
smile she holds for forever. She is so good. She is so good.
That monologue is like over 6 minutes long, unbroken, one take.
Insane.
So good.
That's right.
And again, it's a thing where I don't know if I necessarily like Pearl, but she is so fascinating. Like, you don't have to have a character who's likable to make your movie work. They have to be interesting. And Pearl is fascinating.
Yes.
Just such a great movie. I'm so excited for Maxine now.
Right.
Oh yeah. 100%. I agree. All right, Eric, what is your number 4, sir?
Well, Gory, I also like Pearl, which is why I put X at my number 4. X. Cliff Notes took me by surprise. Like the trailer, it was good marketing. Trailer kind of showed you the vibe, but didn't really show you anything too spoilery.
I like that it dropped dong.
Oh yeah.
You should do that.
The atmosphere. Wow. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing with X for me. It's like they nailed the 70s Texas vibe so perfectly for me. And so
I grew up
number
here.
4, I got X.
I can vouch for that.
Good pick.
All right, that's solid pick. All right, Knight, what do you say, man, for number 4?
Number 4, I've got let's see, Barbarian.
Okay.
It was a really fun experience to see it in the theater. It was different. Man, they just took a left turn in that movie, and it was crazy as hell.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if I had ever seen anything like that, as far as going into a movie. And the trailer was really good because it didn't give anything away, pretty much like everyone had said. But I just didn't know we were going to go where we went. You know what I'm saying? And I loved that. I loved it. And it really gave me, a really good outlook on horror as far as being able to do some really cool, creative things that you don't see coming at all, so.
Some movies make you feel like an adult, but some movies make you feel like baby. baby. So that's all I got to say about that, man.
And once again, Richard Brake is awesome.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, and I just have to say real quick, totally off topic, but I'm gonna make it super fast. I'm seeing chat about Infinity Pool. Let me tell you, one of my most anticipated movies of the year.
We watched the trailer together the other day on my stream.
Yes, we did, Corey. And I'm telling you, I am so ready for that Mia Goth movie. It looks amazing. So if you have not seen a trailer for Infinity Pool, you guys go watch it after the stream. Trust me.
It's got a Skarsgård in it too.
And Skarsgård, yeah, that's right. Speaking of
the older brother.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Okay, for number 4 for me.
Like put a bird on it, like a Skarsgård in it.
Skarsgård, I mean, Mia Goth. I need to say no more.
She's
Mia Goth.
incredible.
That's all I need to say.
Incredible.
Yeah. For my number 4, it's one that it does not make me frown. It makes me smile. And Smile is my pick for number 4. It's yeah, you know, I understand and I felt the same way, like how closely it modeled itself after a particular movie. And I get that totally, but I don't care. Sosie Bacon, let me tell you what.
Baby Bacon's got it going on. She killed it.
She needs all the roles.
She needs them all. Thank you. Yes.
Please.
I will watch this movie over and over and over to watch her perform.
Also, I have to tell you, we had our own like film festival. Me, Danny, and Rich from Movie Massacre. We saw Pearl, Barbarian, and Smile. And Smile was the third one. He nearly had a heart attack from all the jump scares. Like I thought he was gonna die. Like very effective jump scares in Smile.
There really are. Yeah, and you know if you're ever looking for last minute gift ideas for a child's birthday, it even helps you out in that department. So the movie is tremendous.
Come on now.
It's tremendous. And
we just talked about how this wasn't a good thing in another movie.
I'm saying, to be fair, I've been given that gift for years, and now people are going to start biting on it because it's popular because of a movie.
Dang.
Like Baby Bacon does it and it's popular. I do it and I get in handcuffs.
Ken does it and he needs help.
Whatever. Right.
You know, Baby Bacon's also adorable. So.
Oh my gosh. All right, keeping it moving, guys. We're gonna flip their order and we're gonna go counterclockwise. So Knight, you're back up, sir. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is Scream 5.
Okay.
You know, it was, I mean, obviously we did a lot of conversations and discussions leading up to it and breaking it down and so forth. And going into the theater, I really enjoyed it. I also had a really big sad moment. We know what that was. It still stings. But it was a good movie. I enjoyed it, and it added another chapter to a favorite.
Oh, why you do this?
There you go.
That's what that sad moment makes me do. My face right there. That's it.
And look,
the most sourpuss face you'll ever see. That's her whole character. That whole movie.
Hey, look, when we met David Arquette at the convention, one person behind us said, "Why did you turn around from the elevator? Why did you get in?"
Yes.
He makes these decisions.
Yeah.
I think what made me the most sad about that is he didn't want to go.
He didn't.
Right.
Still
No.
game.
That's right.
That's the part that upsets me about that.
So
That's
frustrating. Oh my gosh. If we start talking too much about this will be a scream the rest of the scream.
Yeah,
and it's
got
gonna
that
get
little brass ring on the merry-go-round, and Steven's like, "Oh, but we got."
Oh, I want to grab it so bad.
Right.
I know. I feel you, Knight.
Yeah.
Man, I get you, bro. Totally. All levels.
I want to say this has been really fun. I know we're not done yet, but I got mad respect for everything everyone on this panel has said tonight. You guys are awesome.
Oh yeah, same
Absolutely.
here.
Same
I
here.
mean, I just knew. I was so excited. Like I said, not to be redundant, but when you all were able to accept the invitation, I was like Christmas morning again. Guys, like this panel together, because I've never had you guys all together like this. This is a powerhouse right here. This is great. So, Eric, you've been so patient with your hand up, sir. So, go ahead.
Just really quickly, this kind of just made me laugh when you said it's going to turn into a Scream stream. When I told Chrissy earlier, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to be jumping on a stream tonight." She goes, "Oh, a Scream stream?" I'm like, "No, we're going to talk about this, and this." And she goes, "It's probably going to turn into a Scream stream." And I'm like, "You watched them, don't you?"
Yes, she knows.
All roads lead to Woodsboro.
On my channel, I think the last hour was all about Scream.
It was.
Hey,
Corey
it
and I,
fun.
we just went there, and once you go there and you get firmly rooted, You're there, man. You're there. Real quick before we get to Gory's pick, because I've always promised super chats do move up to the front of the line. Troy coming in with another $5 super chat. Thank you, Troy, for your support of the channel. It helps us out a lot over here. DHT killed it as art. Exposition of classic mime to absolute terror was amazing. But here we go. Mia Goth as Pearl, best horror performance of the year, dude.
I want to say about that guy who plays Art. He is a sweetheart. He has done more streams in this community than anybody I know, and I'd say he's a pretty big celebrity. He does more conventions than anyone I know. He is really down to earth, really cool guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Nice. But Troy, I think I agree with your comments, man. I think, Mia Goth. I don't know how she's going to get unseated by anybody for this year. When you look at X and Pearl in the same year, it's insane. Yeah, right. It is. And so real quick, I just want to do this super fast because we're all wrapping up kind of rapid fire. But it's important to know this, that we talked about safety on the job and stuff. And some of these movies that we watch, these producers and these creative teams, directors, they climb ladders. They're trying to climb the ladder to success in making a good film. But if you don't write a good script and have a good foundation, and you don't put your physical ladder down on good foundations, things can happen bad. Man, he's got to be.
Don't you hate it when that happens?
Wow.
Yeah.
And the production was still better than Jeepers Creepers Reborn.
Yeah.
This 80s safety video still better than Jeepers Creepers Reborn. That's great. Okay. Ooh, I just had to throw that in there. All right, so Gory, I think Gory, right? Gory, you're number 3.
Oh, my number 3. I think so what I really like about this movie is it has stuck in my head. You can wait, Beard is next.
Did I miss you? I'm sorry, Bearded. My bad. Okay. Beard,
It's okay.
When I see people falling off ladders and on the poles, it just totally throws me off. Okay. Eric, what's your number 3?
Eric, honey, just speak up. You can be polite to the board. Something with me.
I don't want to be rude. My number 3 is actually Hellraiser. Really quick information. Jamie Clayton as Pinhead was amazing. Even Clive Barker, or not Clive Barker, but even Doug Bradley said so, and that's high praise. I loved the redesign of the Cenobites. They got away from the leather, and it's actually like filleted flesh. I love the fact that they changed up the mythos a little bit instead of just one lament configuration that just always goes back to a tiny box. Each configuration does something different. And my expectations were amazingly low because the last couple of Hellraiser movies have been just absolute duds. So yeah, for me, I think it knocked it out of the park. Loved everything about it. So Hellraiser.
Okay. All right. Now, Gory B, we're back on track. Sorry about that, Erica.
This next one is really, I feel like the more I think about it, just the more I really like it. It's The Menu. Again, it's a movie that has a lot to say, but it doesn't talk down to you. It has so much humor in it. And it's a lot of satire, but I was laughing out loud through this whole movie. The performances are great. Sound design is great. Every time that man clapped, I was jumping out of my seat. And it's a rare movie. When you watch a lot of movies, you guys can all relate. You're about halfway through, you know how it's going to end, or at least you have a pretty good idea. I'm about halfway through this movie, and I'm like, I actually have no idea what's going to happen. That's a rare treat. I really enjoyed the experience of watching this movie.
About halfway through that movie, I was still like, what is going on?
Yeah, me too. And that's you don't get that so often, and it shows you that you're watching something truly original that you've never seen before because your brain's trying to look for those connections. And this was a treat. It was really great. Go in blind if you can.
Nice. Okay. Awesome. Brandon, how about you, man? Number 3.
For number 3, mine is Scream 5.
Okay.
I like it because of like what they tried to do. I understood, pay respect to West. I love Jenna Ortega, Melissa Barrera. It wasn't executed to its maximum potential. You can tell that it could have done better. It was like they settled. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like Scream 5 could have been like blown out the park crazy, but it's like they settled. Like after they looked over, they're like, we're good right here. When you knew you could have did better, you could have did way better. It's like they settled to be safe. So Scream 5, number 3 for me.
Yeah, totally fair, man. And I actually agree with you on that. Ken, what is your number 3, sir? If we didn't, maybe lost. Okay, there we go. Okay. Oh.
Love it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I'm a little crooked here, but I'm gonna go with my dude, the Grabber, the Black Phone. I had a lot of fun with this movie. It was genuinely scary. Just one of those movies that I left the theater going, "Wow, that was really fun," and I'm glad I got the chance to watch this in the cinema. So. The performances were carried by 2 children, which is very, very hard to do. Ethan Hawke was great. The dad was a guy that made you genuinely hate him. So there's just so much about
felt like a real person.
Yes, exactly. You knew that. Please understand, I'm not condoning or forgiving the way that he treated them, but it gave you an arcal reason why. He's so overprotective that he's too aggressive with it. So I understand his reasoning, but I hate it still.
It's like we were talking about before. You can have an unlikable character who's still interesting, still feels human.
Right. So yeah, for me, the Black Phone. I think the Black Phone, and even when you do like the, just this, like even just seeing this,
I like all the combinations.
And I love one of my favorite parts in the whole movie is just something so simple. Is when he comes down with the breakfast and he's like, what did you put in that? And he's like, salt and pepper. Huh? Like that's so scary to me. Like the sociopath in there is just so scary to me. And
really good.
Why do I got to poison you? Brilliant. Yeah. So number 3 for me, the Black Phone.
Okay. Awesome, man. All right.
I will say, because we've talked a lot about these movies, this year's Halloween Horror Nights was killer. And I will say Black Phone had the best jump scares, and we got to walk around one of the sets of Nope. So if you guys got to check that out, it was great.
Sweet. Heck yeah.
Brandon
knows. Everybody. Also, while we're talking about it, don't forget to subscribe to everyone here. I know my moderators, you're doing awesome. Thank you for putting everyone's links in the chat. Please continue to do so if you wouldn't mind. We're definitely wrapping up now. We're about to hit our final top 2 picks, so we're going to go super quick in a second. So if you put those out, Val, Sarah, whoever is here still, much appreciated. And if you're here and just coming in late, please make sure you subscribe to everyone here. Love their channels. They're great, great folks.
I'm honestly just happy that I didn't lose a ton of subscribers after I said I liked Halloween Ends. So, yay, thanks, guys.
Of course not. No way. Now, if you go to a channel out there, I don't know. I can't promise you anything outside of there, but when you're here, you're not going to know. That's not how we roll. No way.
Just like Olive Garden. When you're here, you're family.
Exactly right. Yes. Now, if you go over to Carrabba's or some other Italian joint, I can't tell you what's going to happen, but if you stay in the Olive Garden, you're good. All right. So my number, where's this going? I have no idea. I'm just going with it. My number 3 is also one that's been mentioned a couple of times. It is Scream 5. Is my number 3 film of the year. Really, you guys have hit the nail on the head for reasons why. The Dewey thing, of course, I didn't like that part. But more than that, it was lack of overall character development, lack of cinematography in this film was disappointing. Every shot doesn't have to be like 4.3. We have widescreen, HD cameras now. So we don't have to be like this on every shot. It just drove me nuts. So I want to see that. I hope Scream 6 will breathe in this New York cityscape and let us kind of like take it in. Just changes the whole feel of the movie for me. So cinematography was poor. Some of the writing was clunky. Some of the performances I didn't like. Melissa Barrera in particular, not really a fan of her performance. Really a fan of Jenna Ortega though. And of course the OGs, everything with those, they were great. And there was potential there from the Meeks twins, just not enough of them. Frankly, for me to understand a character and like them, I need to see them more than 3 scenes with about 1 paragraph of dialogue. That's just not enough. So I hope in Scream 6 we're going to get those things corrected, see some real development of these characters, because I'm rooting for them and I'm going in optimistic and I'm very excited. And, you know, when you mix in Samara Weaving, come on, man. And Hayden Panettiere, come on, man.
But I've been saying this for a while here. This is kind of how I picked, I guessed the killer correctly in the last one. When you get a really big name as a side character, they tend to be the killer. I'm calling it now. It's Samara Weaving's going to be one of the killers.
Or
I'm excited to see how much time they spend on the boat on the way to New York.
That's Ken. I'm going to take you off the stream right now. Hold on. Ken is being officially removed from the stream. Bye, Ken. Appreciate you, buddy. No.
That's what you get, boy.
Oh, my God.
That's your one warning, my friend. That's your one warning.
That was so perfectly delivered.
Oh, my gosh. You're killing
That
me.
was good.
Love it. You know, he doesn't do it often because he's one of the sweetest people on YouTube I know. But when Steven gets sassy, it's probably my favorite.
Oh, gosh. Well, thank you, Corey. It is rare. It is rare. Ken brings it out of me, man. Ken, you can get it out of me every now and then. What can I say?
Ken brings it out of all of us, and
He
that's why we love
does. That's
Ken.
a big brother. I love it. All right. Oh my gosh, everyone's changed. Brandon.
Yeah.
Everybody's flipped her up. All right, Brandon.
I'm in a different Brady Bunch square now.
I know.
My life is
Everyone.
live.
I've moved everyone here.
Way
You
to
know
go,
what?
Ken.
It just doesn't feel right. This is. There we go.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
okay.
I like
Still-
being in my
there you
my
go.
safe space between Eric and Brandon.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat and here on the panel course. We're on our final 2. This is going to be amazing. I'm so excited to hear what these last 2 picks are going to be. So, Knight, you start us off, sir. What's your number 2 favorite?
My number 2 is X.
All right.
Yeah.
Next,
And
gonna give it to you.
right.
Why wasn't that song in the movie? Just saying.
I don't know. It already been used up in Deadpool.
Good point. Good
yeah.
point.
Yeah.
No, man. I mean, I just really enjoyed it so much, and obviously we talked about Mia Goth, and you know she can do no wrong. It was well
I mean,
shot.
he's married to Shia LaBeouf, so I mean,
Well,
she
there
kinda
you go.
can't do wrong.
There you go.
Sorry, I don't mean it. It was a joke.
It was a great movie though, and when we did our watch along of it, it was just that was a fun watch along, you know, especially being a first time watch. So I loved it. I loved the cinematography too. It was a beautifully shot movie.
Like that scene where it dropped dong. Need more of that in 2023.
What?
I love that he's just standing there too. It's awesome.
Oh, wow.
Steven, did you? I was about to say you did notice that, right?
No, I don't think so, man. I don't think
Bless
so,
your
bro.
sweet
How did you
innocent
miss
heart.
it? I thought
Are you
something was
being for real that
attacking
you
him.
didn't notice it, Steven?
Yeah, I'm being for real. Yeah, I really am.
When
I have to say though,
What?
in
when the old guy goes to get help to find Pearl, and the guy opens the door and he's just standing there.
yeah, Kid
And
Cudi's
you
just
see his
standing there like
silhouette?
like it's nothing. He's completely
Wait.
naked and he's just like, yeah, what?
And you can
Oh.
actually see all of it. So
Yeah.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
no
All
idea.
7 feet of it.
I could. Oh, my-
Ken.
I could.
it was
I
like wrapped around his leg, so it was hard to see, but it was there.
Oh, wow.
I was really happy because movies like this tend to show a lot of female nudity, and that's part of the genre. I'm just saying, give a little bit of male nudity, you know, make it equal opportunity.
I'll make your bubs bounce. I'll make you.
Dude,
There it
real
is.
quick, I know we're trying to hurry, but I got to promote myself real quick. My movie will be on
Please.
Amazon Prime soon, Bride of Killer Pinata.
Yay.
And if you're about that Ken Dong, you do get to see some Ken Dong.
Wait, what?
I'll make your bubs bounce. I'll make your bubs bounce. Let's go.
Go. Wow. All right, kid. Well,
I don't ever want to see my friends naked. That might be too much.
Might be a little awkward, you know.
Throw it out there.
A little spicy mustard. That may be a little bit too spicy.
Right.
Okay, so where
Omni's about it.
where the heck are we? I don't even know. Whose turn is it, Eric? Okay, buddy.
I think
Eric's
it's
number
me,
two.
right? Yeah.
Your little hand. You
Oh,
were
he's-
totally teacher's pet in school, weren't you? You were just too precious.
Oh no, I wasn't. My number 2 is Black Phone. Everything. Biggest thing for me is atmosphere. Like it had such a creepy feel. And what Ken said about when he came down and he's like, "What'd you put in that?" Like salt and pepper. My thing, like what got me the most was when he comes down and he's just like, everything's going wrong. Like it's all wrong.
Yeah.
Like the calmness he had behind that, I'm like, this is so frightening to me. And the other creepiest thing, last thing I'll say about it, when he's talking to the kids on the phone and they don't remember who they are, and they're like, "Yeah, your name's the first thing to go." That, for some reason, was so unsettling to me. Yeah, my number 2, Black Phone.
With that movie too, I also thought that the violence amongst the kids was so intense. Like it had me freaked out by these kids as well. Like their whole world is scary. Their parents, they got their kids at school. And that's before you get a serial killer.
Right.
Wow. All right, Brandon, I am really excited, man. I've been so excited to hear everyone's picks. I want to know, because we hadn't talked in a little bit, man. So, Gory B, tell me your pick before we get to Brandon.
Oh, I see what you did
Like
there.
that? Was that smooth?
I'm really surprised this movie hasn't been brought up yet.
Look, it's after friggin' 1 a.m. It's
Brandon's
almost
so
1
sweet. He's
a.m.
California.
I was up. I stayed up till 6 in the morning to get my video out at 9 a.m. this morning.
Sorry. Craven, you work
I am
so
working
hard.
on fumes here. Sorry, guys. So.
I'm so sorry. You work so hard.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Just I'm a little loopy though. So Gory, go ahead, please. Please.
I'm surprised no one's mentioned this movie yet. Fresh. I love this. I actually put it off for a while because the trailers didn't really excite me, and nobody really talked about it. So I watched it like maybe 6 months after it came out. This movie was so good. And I talk about this a lot, like a lot of in the 80s, 90s, even early 2000s, movies really pushed this whole like the biggest love of your life will be a romantic love. You know what? Your life is about so many different kinds of relationships with family, with friends. And that's what this movie is about. It's like saying, you know what? So what if your dating life sucks? The most meaningful relationship in your life might be your best friend, and that's okay. That's okay. It was a real female empowerment movie. It was funny as all hell. Probably my favorite Sebastian Stan. Yeah, I know he's in those MCU movies or whatever. Favorite role of his is The Covenant.
I was about to say, don't forget The Covenant because he was
witchy. I love this movie so much. It was laugh out loud funny. It was surprising. Dare I say it was fresh?
It was really fresh.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah. I'm down with that.
Good one.
Heck yeah. Let's increase some stew train fumes for energy. There you go, Polar. I will take it. All right, now Brandon, I'm really curious to hear what yours is as well. What is your number 2?
My number 2 is Halloween Ends.
There it is.
There
it is. You wouldn't let me down.
Yeah, number 2, man.
Like the trilogy of ends right here. What's up?
It was just, I read the book and I watched it like 10 times, and I just can't bring myself to hate it. Like Corey Cunningham, I know it's not Michael Myers, but he does a great job at like capturing this weird like feeling where it just makes you interested in him. I know he's not Michael. It's like he's like the little brother that's doing the job. Like, all right, I'm gonna get it done for you. But it's like it's like you miss the presence of Michael Myers, but you don't. I think they knew what they were doing. Like, we're gonna have someone dress up like him and kill. So you still see that mask and coveralls, but he's like, hanging out in the sewer. I just understand that he's hurt from kills and he's old, he's broken down. I mean, I just love it. I don't know why. I just like it. I thought I wasn't going to,
I think it's better with each rewatch. I'll say that too.
Yeah.
I've seen that movie about 3 times now. It's really good.
And it sounds weird, but I like it because of Corey. It's weird. Like, I don't know why I like it because of Corey. and that's just what it is. I just like it.
On paper, Corey is a little. On paper, he's like a whiny little like. I don't like him, but in the movie, love him.
Yeah. So
after that pick, Brandon, I would like to invite you into my van for a little bit.
I love how Corey is like, he has a full arc. He is a completely different character by the end of that movie. And that is a really cool dynamic character. And the fact that the actor plays it so well. He plays like this vulnerable, kind of nerdy character at the end. And by the end of that, I think he's genuinely terrifying. So bravo to him for a great performance.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Wow. All right, man. All right, Ken, what is your number 2, sir?
Filmed in my city, man. Filmed in my town. Detroit, Michigan. Barbarian.
Rock City?
I loved Barbarian. I went into this with absolutely no expectations because of how little the trailer gave you. And I left this movie with an absolute hatred for Justin Long's character. Obviously, Justin Long played the character very well. He did a very good job playing him. But I hated him. Like, I hated him so much.
Yeah.
He played like the same character in 2 movies this year. He's like the same character in House of Darkness.
Haven't seen it. Crazy. I just know that in this movie, like, for people that know me, and if you don't know me, get to know me a little bit. Sexual assault is something that I can't do. Whether it's in film, real life, any type of media, it makes me physically uncomfortable. It makes me sick. I've known too many people that have gone through something so sad and so tragic and so tremendous in their life, and it's not entertaining to me. And to hear the stories around this movie and some of the things that are happening in this movie, it made me really dislike his character. And there's a line that he says in the movie where I knew I hated him. And I'm not going to repeat it, Stephen, out of respect for you. But when he goes, man, I did it. At that scene, I was like, I hate this guy. I hate this guy. But the movie overall just blew me away. It subverted every expectation I had. Loved it. Number 2 for me is Barbarian.
Baby.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Man. Oh, man. I can't. I don't know, man. I'm getting loopy. But good stuff. So, from
Eric.
Oh, Eric, what's up?
I was just gonna say, you know what I loved about. Sorry, just one little quick comment. What I loved about Barbarian and the whole Justin Long thing, he doesn't change. You think he's gonna, but they don't try to give him some redemption. They're like, he's a piece of crap. You think he's gonna get better, but he's a piece of crap. I'm gonna leave it at that.
In order to do that, you would have to accept that he's a piece of crap, and he can't do that because we all see ourselves as the heroes in our own story, which is really great.
But it's even the hypocrisy when he's talking to the guy on the bed, and he's like, "How could you do this?" And it's like, "You did too, man." Like,
but that's the thing. It's great writing because we're supposed to see that they're one and the same.
Yeah,
but he doesn't see it. He can't see it.
Beard, it sounds like the angry little brother. He's like, "You a piece of."
I'm just trying to be respectful on the stream and not curse because I wanted to see I wanted to say something else. Like,
I love
what Ken said is 100% accurate, but I'm just trying to be respectful. It's not. If it was my channel, I'd be saying something different. But
I appreciate that, my friend. I appreciate that. So where are we at here? Oh, my number 2, right? I think yeah. So my number 2 is going to be X. X marks the spot.
All right.
Yep. It is. Man, it's so good. And I didn't realize we had the whole "Do you feel the hunger tonight" thing going on there in that scene. But despite that spicy mustard, I really enjoyed that movie a lot. It was great. Could have done with the whole porn premise. If I could take that out and put something else in, I would. But that's whatever, Outside of that, I thought the movie was really, really good. And I mean, everything that I felt Scream 6 lacked. Scream 5 lacked in a lot of ways. X had it, and I'm like, man. And Ty West and Radio Silence, those guys came up together. They were on VHS, and they are kind of from the same school, if you will, of filmmaking. But I'm not trying to dump on Radio Silence or anything. I loved Ready or Not, and I'm giving them another open mind. But anyway, the cinematography was so good in this movie, and when that overhead shot of Mia in the lake or the pond or whatever, and that alligator, and that's that wide shot, and it was gorgeous. I'm like, this is beautiful. Anyway, I could go on and on about it, but Mia's performance was phenomenal. And Jenna Ortega even did good in her little role. So, yeah.
Someone's so unsung in that movie because she gets kind of overshadowed by Mia Goth, but I love Brittany Snow in that. Her line, "You mean old bitch?" That's my favorite part.
Yep.
Just wait until you see Mia Goth as Mrs. Voorhees in the Friday the 13th prequel.
No flipping way.
I don't know. I'm hoping. I'm willing it into existence.
She could.
Hey. Well, all I know is that X marks the spot for me as my number 2. Eric, your hand is up. I see you. Go ahead.
I just want to say like something that no one else points out about X, and maybe I'm the only one who thinks so, but that amazing cover of Landslide, like
oh yeah,
like that song was just so great. Sorry, it's so small, but like I loved that cover of Landslide in that movie. They did amazing with it. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I gotta show you, my little dogs have just passed out. Look at him sitting there cuddling his toy.
Oh, that's so cute.
Oh.
Aw.
Their wife, they're like, "Yeah, we're done, Mom."
Wow. Oh, look, we got people crashed out all over the place.
I see you.
Oh
The pets are like, we're done.
That's why I had to move locations. My dog was like, "Yeah, bro, it's time for me to go to bed. Get the hell off my bed."
Oh my gosh. Hey, listen, something I want to mention real quick before we do our number 1s. After this stream ends, the night has just begun. I will be over on the Nets channel, over on the Nets Necessities, the Entertainment Hideout, along with the Carbonite Jedi.
Tonight?
And yes, right after this stream ends.
Honey, you're gonna die.
Well, at least I'll die with a smile.
Glory, what a hell of a way to go.
Right. Well, speaking of hell, we're watching Hellraiser.
Who love you and feed you red food between streams.
You're watching Hellraiser?
What? When we get done here, we're going to watch Hellraiser from the original Hellraiser. I got the Carbonite Jedi is going to be there. Katie from Popping the Popcorn's on the panel. And we're all going to watch Hellraiser after this. So our night is just...
Are you sleeping in tomorrow at least?
What? What'd you say?
Are you going to sleep in tomorrow?
I can sleep in for a little bit. Yeah.
Treat yourself.
Yeah.
You sleep in.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Dang it. Do it. Yeah, I hear you.
I don't look out for you because you don't look out for yourself.
Well, thank you.
Trust me, Gory. Trust me.
I know. Knight's been trying for months. He keeps trying.
We need to team up.
I know. Knight keeps on calling me, man. He'll call me all the time, like, man, I want you to take care of yourself. I'm worried about you, man. I'm like,
there was one stream we did where we were backstage after the stream, and like I think everyone else on the panel, there was at least 3 of us like, Craven, man, you should probably take like 2-3 days off. And like he's like, I will. Dude had 2 videos out the next day. I'm like, come on, man.
I know. I don't want to let anybody down, and I want to give you guys what you enjoy, and so it's hard for me to turn that off.
Happy and healthy and well rested. That's what I enjoy.
Yeah. I hear you. I know. You guys are so nice. And you guys always do encourage me to do it, and I need to listen to you more often. But
Craven, because Lord,
I know.
Man, it's like you didn't take no breaks. It's 2023, the whole 2022. You just see Craven, Night Watch, Craven, Night. I'm like, Lord Jesus.
I know.
I know. This isn't really about this, but if anyone here doesn't know and wonders how Craven works, this is the stat he told us on that particular stream. For the past 14 months, he's averaged like 1.25 videos per day.
Yeah.
He has not missed a day in like 14 months of putting out a video. So, dude's working hard.
Yeah. Well,
Take
thank you,
care
brother.
of yourself, please.
Yeah, I was. That was eye opening for me. I didn't even realize it till I saw that, and it was 32 videos a month for 14 consecutive months. I was like, whoa, I didn't realize that. It was eye-opening. But
that's it. Next time you ask me to do a stream with you, I'm gonna ask you first, how many hours of sleep did you get last night? All right, call me when you get 8.
Oh, you'll be careful what you ask now. Yeah, you don't want to ask
that. Was the last time we saw Gory B.
Exactly.
Yeah, speaking of which, we'll just go ahead and now and talk about our number one. No, I just had to do it.
Like he really did. He just got yeeted from the stream.
You like that little kid at the beginning of Halloween ends.
That's so funny. I had to.
Oh man.
Oh, but seriously, guys, listen. When we get done with our number ones, come over to the Nets channel, and we're gonna have a good time watching Hellraiser. All right. So let's go ahead now with our number one choices of most favorite horror of the year with Night Watch Zone. We're gonna start with you and go around.
Yeah, it was interesting because we've done this list. Actually, Stephen, we've done this list before when we talked about favorites. So mine has changed a little bit, but one thing that has not changed is the joy that I had with this movie that was totally unexpected, and I'm going with Smile.
Nice. Okay.
And you'd say it made you smile.
Full disclosure, I did not plan to see this movie in the theater. It looked like it was going to be okay. We wanted to go see Terrifier 2, but it wasn't playing in our area. And we had the time slot, and we were like, okay, well, Smile's playing. Let's just check it out. Man, it was just a fun movie. It was a good movie. Sosie Bacon, she deserves all the roles, just like Mia does. But I really enjoyed it. It was really, really well done. Some good moments. Scared the crap out of my brother in two spots, which I wish I recorded. He literally jumped. And I was like, oh, man, this is great. So, yeah, that's my number one.
Rose.
Okay. Nice. It's a great movie, man. It really is. I can watch it anytime just to watch Sosie alone.
Yeah, man. She was
So
just
good.
awesome in that movie, man. So awesome.
Yes. All right, man. Eric, let's hear it, man. What's your number one?
My number one is Pearl. After I didn't even have. I mean, I had like decent expectations of it because of how X was, and I find, at least in my opinion, it's always a little rougher to do a prequel because you can't just be your standalone movie. You have to accurately get to a specific point because we already know where it's going to end. Even with it being a prequel and us knowing how it's going to go or how it's going to end, like they did so much with it. Mia Goth absolutely killed it. That monologue, like we said, was like 6 minutes unbroken. Absolutely amazing to watch. And you just like, even as messed up as it was, you couldn't look away. Like, and there's some uncomfortable scenes in that movie, but you just couldn't look away. And I think that's just a sign of a great movie.
Scarecrow's the same again.
The Scarecrow scene and like the bathtub scene with like the dad like watch it, like but you can't look away. So yeah, for me, number one's got to be Pearl.
Yeah, man. Okay. Oh, I love it. All right. Gory B, what is your number one?
My number one was super easy. I haven't had an experience that was this much fun, that got this much of a reaction out of me in years. Was Barbarian for sure. The marketing was perfect. It's also another really smart movie that does not talk down to its audience. I love that we have two different characters in this exact same situation. One of them is doing, I guess what I would do, be really cautious. I'm like, I don't know if I want to go down that creepy thing. The other one's pulling out the measuring tape. It has a lot to say, but it does it with humor. It's incredibly well written. Even just the casting was so smart. Casting Bill Skarsgård the way they did, casting Justin Long the way they did. Just brilliant movie. If you guys haven't seen it yet, check it out. Not because of hype or anything. Make your own opinions. Luckily, I saw this, the day it came out. But this one really blew me away. I love that it's so creative and unique. It made me really, really excited to be a horror fan. I loved this movie.
Yep. And I'd say the more blind you can be, going into that movie, the better for sure.
And best use of "Be My Baby" in a movie ever.
Baby.
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 Oh, Craven, this is for you.
Oh,
that broke my heart. I loved it.
I know. Well, speaking of breaking hearts, Brandon, it's time to break the heart of every other film last year because you're only going to pick one now to be your most favorite. So, who's the winner in your book?
Oh, so this is real. It's weird for me because I didn't like when I seen a trailer. I'm like, I don't even know how I feel about it, and it just grew on me every time I watch it. I'm like, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's Black Phone. For
Wow,
me,
okay.
Black Phone. I love Ethan Hawke, Training Day, all those, cool movies. But man, Finn and Gwen, the kids you get interested in them soon as you get introduced to them. And I just think it's like real life horror. Now I'm not into seeing kids, dying. I'm not into that. But The Grabber, bro, I was literally scared. I remember driving home with the wife, and we go pick up my little man, and we're looking at other houses. I'm like, when you think about it, Black Phone, that can happen here. Amber Alert, someone can be in that basement right there. It's really terrifying. I was legit like feeling weird watching that, but it was like fear. Like Ethan Hawke really put fear in me. Like I was like, bro, this is crazy how he did Finn and everything, and then they got the paranormal. It's just.
He needs to play villains more. Between this and Moon Knight, he really shone.
Black Phone for me is number one.
The Black Phone is one of those movies that is scary for different reasons for generations. For kids watching it, they're watching it and they're scared of what could happen to them. And as us as parents watching it, we're scared for what could happen to our kids.
Yep.
And it takes a lot. Like The Exorcist is the same way, I feel, and it's very brilliant to be able to play a movie off like that to scare different generations for completely different reasons.
Yeah, I agree.
And the 70s setting too. I mean, in the 70s and 80s, there was a lot. There was a couple that would go to your house with a bunny rabbit or something and tell you to come. If you want to come pet the bunny, go to our car. We were all warned about it as kids. I mean, kidnappings and serial killers and all that stuff was so much part of the news back in the 70s and stuff.
Yeah.
So they really did a good job of like kind of bringing you back to a bygone era.
Your arm is mint. You almost had me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good choice.
Yeah, man. Very good choice. Okay, Mr. Ken, I am excited to hear your first choice for the year, man.
Halloween Ends.
Yeah.
It better
Gotta
be.
be, right? It's gotta be. No.
The difference between my number one and Holiday.
Here we go.
No, I just want to say I really love and respect everybody's list that we've had so far. It was really, really good. And it was amazing. And Knight, I've always had a lot of respect for you. I've always had a lot of admiration for you. But it would take a crazy, crazy, insane person to put Smile at number one. And my friend, you are crazy like a fox because Smile is my number one as well. It is.
I knew where he was going.
It is so good. Like as somebody that has dealt
roller
with
coaster.
a lot of different mental health issues and has gone through things like that movie had me genuinely scared, like The Harbinger did for different reasons. And what I love about this movie is we talked how it does have some good jump scares, like he got the laptop scene with Rose, like that. But what scared me the most about this movie are the scenes that didn't have any jump scares at all. Like when she looks over and sees the person in the kitchen. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but when she sees the person in the kitchen and you're waiting and waiting and waiting and nothing happens, like that to me is scarier because my anxiety starts to go and it's like, just please, if you're going to kill me, just do it. Don't make me wait on it. If you're going to jump, just do it. And I know it closely resembles another Detroit City movie, It Follows, but there's just so much about this movie that it scared me on a molecular level. And if I could have seen The Harbinger in cinema, it might have been my number one. But for me, Smile. Great choice, Knight. You foxy, crazy man, you.
I try.
So yeah, Smile for me is the one that did it for me this year.
And like I keep saying, Smile's a roller coaster, but it also, like a lot of the other movies we've talked about, has really good themes in it about know trauma and how we deal with it. It's really smart.
I think that was one thing about Smile that I really kind of really dug, that was not as present in It Follows, and I love It Follows. But I think Smile did some really, really intelligent things that sometimes people forget about because of all the things on the surface and because there was a lot of success that it had and hype and stuff like that. But there were some really, really great dramatic themes, realistic themes that were in that movie that I really enjoyed.
And what I was going to touch on this when you were talking about it, Knight. I think another reason why this movie impressed me so much is I went into it looking for Truth or Dare light. I was looking for a mindless movie that didn't have a lot of plot, that was a stupid Snapchat filter placed on some cute kids, and I got the complete opposite. So it subverted what I thought it was going to be. And the advertising was so great. You had people at Oakland A's games.
Yep.
The advertising was brilliant, and it's got more depth in movies that advertise depth like Men. This movie actually has quite a bit of depth to it.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm a very big fan of Smile, and I'll go to bat for that movie all day long. So
Eric, you're killing me. What, dude? Just say it.
I don't want to interrupt anyone.
Sure, just jump in.
I was going to say, and I think I'm alone here. I think I'm alone in this because from what everyone else is saying. But honestly, one of my least favorite things about it was the trauma aspect because of how it ended. Because I'm like, the ending to me, and if you look at it from that aspect, kind of just, I think, was giving a message that it's gonna keep going. It's gonna end. That's it. Like, can't get better. Because like you hope it does, and I hope I'm not spoiling anything for Smile for anyone. But like, it just for me, if I think about it that way.
I agree, Tiffany. I think you're alone now.
Thank you. Someone got my dumb joke. I think the ending was trying to say that you can't run away from it. It's not that simple. It's gonna be with you either for the rest of your life, and it might trickle down to the people who love you. Trauma doesn't go away that easy.
They wrote. Oh God. I don't want to spoil it. That's why I'm being so stuttery right now. I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen it, but I respect what you're saying, because with mental health, we are always hoping for a positive outcome. We're always hoping for the light at the end of the tunnel,
right?
For that prescription that helps us to feel like the elephant isn't sitting on our chest anymore. So I get what you're saying and I respect it, but I just don't see how we could have had that in this movie. Just personally, like that's something I don't see how they could have written that to make it make sense in my opinion.
I get that. I get wanting a release, wanting a break, but I do think it makes it for a scarier and honestly more honest movie the way it did end.
Yeah, and that's as a horror movie, it's great, and that's why I did want to preface it with saying, if I look at it from that aspect of those deeper meanings they're trying to get at, for me, I like it less because the ending to me is pretty much them saying it doesn't get better.
Right, I respect.
And I wasn't a fan of that aspect, but like I said, it's on my top or my honorable mention. But yeah.
All right. My number one to close out the list for tonight. This has been so much fun. My number one is going to be Pearl, baby. Let's go. Not a diamond, not an emerald. It's going to be a pearl. And listen, X was my favorite for the entire year until I saw Pearl. And then
I'm glad we got a new slasher icon, and I'm glad it's a woman.
Well, and I had to, these were like neck and neck. And it really was hard for me to make a choice of which I liked better because they're different movies, totally.
Yeah.
But I will say this, that Mia Goth has won me over to the ninth end of the world, whatever that means, all the way to the max. And her performance in this movie, and we all know the monologue. I don't even need to say anything more than the monologue. We know. And that, I remember watching that, and just as it grew in intensity and longer and longer and longer without breaking away, I was just enthralled and just completely zoned in. And I thought to myself, it was powerful because and especially knowing the future for her of how things are going to end with X, and it makes it all the more tragic. And
Honestly,
man, just I thought to myself, again, not to beat up on other actors, but look, they're in the public forum. We have the right to give our opinions. I thought to myself, this is something that, like, Melissa Barrera, I'm sorry, I could never see her in that role. That would have never worked. Other actors, and not just her, but she's a unique performer. Yeah. She's got talent.
She has that X factor.
She does have it.
Yeah.
She does have it. Dang it. She's got it. As much of a pun as it is, it's true, and I love puns. She's great.
I haven't done it yet. I haven't rewatched X since seeing Pearl, but I think it's going to be one of those things where it makes you appreciate X even more because you understand why she's obsessed with Maxine and why she's so obsessed with this idea of being special.
Yes, totally does. It's like I almost want to recommend watching Pearl, then X. Just don't even watch them in that order because it adds so much weight to X when you see her trying to put her makeup on and trying to be. It all goes back, right? It all goes back. And Scarecrow violation aside, that movie was absolutely fantastic. And
only complaint, it could have used some Scarecrow dung. Just saying.
I've never wanted to be a Scarecrow so bad in my life. I'll just take my brain, go ahead. I don't need it. I'll be a Scarecrow.
Oh dang. But yeah, that's my number one, and it's interesting that my top 2 films of the year are both from the same series.
Yeah,
and Pearl. That's wild.
Before we sign off, Craven, one last question.
Oh yeah.
In Hawaii, do they allow very loud laughing, or do they only have aloha?
Oh yes.
Oh.
Wow.
Bro.
Well, I didn't know you wanted to get involved with the discussion, Mr. Helper.
That was perfect. Dude, were you waiting for that?
I'm always waiting for
Did you
just the
Sam
right minute.
Kinison me?
Yes,
He Sam Kinison you, man.
I sure did.
You have
was
embodied
perfect.
the dad joke.
Craven just gave me a Craven grounding. Like, I just got grounded by Craven for a dad joke. This is unfair.
That was awesome.
Hey, listen, man. I do dad jokes all the time. I love them. So you're good.
Oh my
Craven,
God.
Craven.
Oh my! 2
He's
people
calling
with their
Eric
hands
driving
up.
me crazy.
Gory's doing crazy.
Eric, what's up, buddy? I know it's
I want to say, like, I love everyone's list. I know we're getting ready to sign off soon because we're done with the list. I want to just point something out to me that's the most amazing thing about this is, like, Smile, X, Pearl, Barbarian. We've got so many original horror movies this year that made the top 5 list. Like, how awesome is that? How amazing is that? And Art the Clown, I mean, he's kind of a franchise now. He wasn't really going into 20. I mean, so we got so much good horror, and it makes me so happy and excited for next year.
I'm so glad that these movies were not just loved by us, but they were big box office successes. That is so promising.
Absolutely.
Like, that makes me so excited.
Yeah,
One
when I heard
started off good this year with Megan too.
Yeah, I was about to
Yes, sir.
please
Yes,
go
sir.
see Megan. That's my number one right now.
It's an exciting time to be a
I'm
horror
gonna tell
fan,
you right
guys.
now, like, and I'm not gonna spoil anything. We were lucky enough to see Megan a couple weeks ago. We went and seen it again in the theater, and the scene still made me cry. Like the scene.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, which scene?
No.
Not. You don't have to, like. Is there like in the car?
Nope.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so let's get on to a super chat that just came through here. We got a $5 super chat coming in from Troy. It says 1A and B, X and Pearl. There you go. I 100% agree with that. And Mia Gossier, yes. Now, Ken, do you want to read the rest of this? Because he's addressing you specifically, my friend.
On a scale of 1 to Friday the 13th part 8, how wet will Ghostface stay once?
I had to let you read that.
I'm just saying the movie's gonna end with Ghostface getting toxic waste poured on him in the sewer, going, "Mommy, help! Mommy!"
Oh, you're wrong for that, man. Where's that remove button? One more time, dude. Man.
Cassie Craven's the best.
I can honestly say that I'm more excited for Scream 6 than I was Scream 5.
Me too. Me too.
Want to say this one has my excitement level higher than 5 did.
Yeah.
So, which is by no fault of 5's. It's just like the idea. I love how Scream 2 they moved away from Woodsboro and they did their thing, and I am very excited to see where we go and some of the new names that have been added. I'm very excited for it.
So I have a question. Who's all seen Megan on the stream? I know Craven hasn't seen Megan.
No, I have not.
So do you guys think that Megan could potentially be like better than Scream 6?
Yes. No, not a chance.
So?
I think, man, I'm not gonna lie.
It has the potential to be a franchise. I think
Yeah.
she's a cool character, well done. I want to see it.
Like, I thought it was a fun movie. I wouldn't even call it a horror movie. Like,
and that's what makes it good.
What kind of childhood did you have?
And it's like, is this
No,
better?
my theater was packed. We laughed almost the entire way through. Like, there was like almost no jumps. Honestly, like, I liked it. I do, but I see people saying like she's gonna be the new Chucky. I'm like, no, she ain't got nothing on Chucky. Like, if he's oh no, there's people. Oh, it's out there.
She's closer to the Terminator than she is to Chucky, in my opinion. Like, I think that this is more Terminator than Child's Play, in my opinion.
It's more the buddy doll than Chucky.
Yeah, and for me, it's like, it's.
Megan rules, though, guys. You guys gotta check it out. I hope we get more minutes.
Let's all watch it and talk about it again in a couple of weeks. Let's do that.
Hey,
there is only one.
I would take the buddy doll over Megan.
What the?
Right.
Oh yeah, bearded.
We were friends. We had a beautiful friendship, and then
yeah.
Oh my god.
Hit me up on Instagram, and I'll tell you the scene that had me sobbing like a baby.
Yeah, I'll message you.
Like a baby.
Sounds good. All right, guys. Well, listen, everyone in the chat, please subscribe again to everyone here on the panel. Show them some love if you've not already done so. And they deserve your subs because they are great content creators. Great. You're going to just love them, and they're great people, as you all know from tonight. You can see on display. And I want to thank everyone on the panel. I'll see you backstage in a minute. But, guys, thank you all so much for tonight. This was a really great time, man.
Yeah, this was
you
really
put together an awesome panel full of lots of cool, different personalities. This has been a blast, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, you guys, awesome guys. All right, so I'll see y'all in just a few seconds. Everyone in the chat, I want to say again to thank you to all of you for your super chats, for your memberships. I want to thank Eric again, the Bitter Entertainment, for gifting 5 memberships on the stream. Gory B Movie becoming a member of the channel on the stream. You guys are awesome. And for everyone else, thank you so much for your generosity. And if you've not done so, please hit that thumbs up button on your way out. We would greatly appreciate it. And show everyone how much you appreciate them being here tonight, as I certainly do as well. All right, guys, we're going to end it here. For everyone on the stream, I'll be back Monday night at 9:30 p.m. Central, normal stream time for me. And until then, have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Peace.